Hello everyone, welcome to DCU Daily. Here we are talking about all things news, DC, and anything in between. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Friday. Today we have a double show for you, as always. We have DCU Daily, and then of course we have Fancast Friday, which you guys voted on, and apparently y'all want to see what we think the DCU Batgirl will be, and I threw a bit of a surprise in there, so that should be very exciting for you all. But before we get into that, we do have some things to talk about. Obviously, today is Friday, at the start of a Memorial Day weekend, and the start of the next Star Wars film that will be appearing in theaters after a very, very long hiatus. Well, not very long, I mean, compared to, prequel and original trilogy. Anyway, that's beside the point. But for us, it seems very long, but Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be coming out this weekend, and we have a lot to talk about in regards to that. Will it save Star Wars? Will it not? Well, plenty to talk about, so who knows how that's going to go. Then, of course, we have MCU Weekly. We have a lot of Spider-Man talk, lots of Spider-Man talk, different versions of Spider-Man, so that's very exciting. But a bit of talk in regards to Doctor Strange 2, and how that post-credit scene might fare into Doomsday. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. And then a bit of Fantastic Four talk in regards to Walter Hauser and Vanessa Kirby. So there's that. And then MovieTalk Madness. We have talks of the Odyssey, so that's always fun. And then apparently IMAX. Something very interesting happening with IMAX. Will it be good? Probably not, but we're going to be talking about it. Then, of course, a lot of TV Talk Terror. A lot of drama in regards to that. And then, of course, our quick hits. And finally, DCU Daily, the show that everyone wants to see and talk about. We're going to be talking all things quick hits, Summer Supergirl, and of course even more Lego Batman. I'm giving y'all everything. So here we go. And then finally we end it with a Q&A for the special Friday. And then we move on to Fancast Friday, but until then, here is the news. So enjoy.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Welcome to the show. Here we are on Friday, final day of the week. Very exciting. So with that, I am, of course, your host, John. Lovely to see you all in the chat. We got Emo Nerd Girl in the chat. We got Monique. Thank you for that. Ooh, God, that sounds good. Caleb, Enterprising. Let's fucking go. 3-day week. Indeed it is, Kyle. Indeed. Oh, I just realized you're at Terrificon. Interesting. Okay. So all of that wonderful bits. Thank you for mingling in the chat. Give us likes, give us comments. Got to push that algorithm going. Speaking of algorithms, a terrible segue. To Dan. Dan, how are we doing today on this wonderful Friday? Long week, very long week. But you know what? Now it's the weekend. It's a very long weekend. So, that's exciting, right? Hopefully. So you can ease up, maybe get a proper amount of sleep, do all the good things.
The bags are looking a little better than they were yesterday. I mean, you didn't see them yesterday because they were so heavy. But anyway, no, I am. It's My algorithm's doing great, John. I don't know about yours. I watched back last night's show. There were some peak moments that I laughed at. I left a few comments. So, uh, my favorite part of today's show is definitely going to be talking about the women of the Odyssey, because there's like 24 photos, and I had to pick one for the thumbnail, and that's why we're starting at 11. So, like, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but lesser people will call them ugly because this is the world we live in now.
I'm just saying, it's we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we do.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get
But
there.
first, unfortunately, instead of talking about beautiful women, we have to talk about Star Wars for the box office report for Friday. Yeah.
Not too bad though.
But this is how it is. Apparently, Mandalorian and Grogu apparently has made 12 million so far in previews, which was lower than Solo. Not great, but not a bad number. But like,
hey, Fiona.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I think Obsession made more money in previews, which was like,
did it? Wait,
13 million or something like that? Or maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Maybe you're thinking about Prada or Michael, because I feel like because 8 figures, which like 12 million because it's got 6 zeros on it. 8-figure previews are pretty much usually for the big movies. 12 million isn't bad, but like for Star Wars standards, it's not good, right? Like this is what, lower than Solo, they said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean 12 million. What was the headline again? I forget. Like it said 12 million I don't know how much lower than Solo Star Wars box office. I'm literally gonna ask Google and see if it knows. I mean, Solo's opening weekend was 84.4 million, and that's the whole weekend. And obviously this is a long weekend, so even if you just count the 3 days, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about like the fuller box office. I mean, they're looking at somewhere between 80 to 100 million still. It might still end up over indexing on that. Yeah, I mean, Solo also had a bigger budget, twice as much, like 300 million versus 165 million for Mando and Grogu. And then let's see, Solo, I'm still trying to figure out what Solo's like previews were like. In terms of other preview, well, Paramount's Passenger made 1.1 million in previews. I mean, oh, you know what? You're not wrong. Actually, wait, Obsession had a huge $17.2 million opening last weekend.
Yeah, that was opening, weekend. Not previews. Though,
that was the whole weekend. Okay.
Yeah, I misremembered. That was my bad.
Sorry, but but that makes sense. It's a smaller horror movie, it makes sense. I'm just trying to figure out. They're saying it's lower.
Fiona kept me company yesterday when you were asleep, so that was nice.
Yes, please do hit the like button. We appreciate it. Hello, Kevin. Mando and Grogu will make money through DVD sales and merchandise. Well, I mean, yeah, most movies do. I mean, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I don't think it's gonna be a problem for this movie to be profitable. I think it's more about. Oh, I'm sorry. My kitty's right here. Oh, I didn't even realize she's sitting there. I think it's more about. I'm so sorry, Georgie. It's her birthday today, actually. You guys want to wish Georgie a birthday? She's turning 1. She has turned 1. But yeah, I mean, there we go. I wish we had like the sound effect for it too. I don't know. I think I lost track of that somewhere.
Nice.
But anyway, what I was trying to say is, it's not a bad start. It just happens to be for a Star Wars movie. It's not like a great start, but yeah. I don't think anybody's expecting Mandalorian and Grogu to sort of become like the movie that's gonna bring the franchise back to life, and it just every time we talk about it, and now that the movie's here, is becoming more and more obvious that this is not going to be the movie that saves the franchise necessarily.
Nope.
Yeah, Caleb is always here, by the way. Caleb, you were gone for a few days. But then he came back. Yeah, I mean, Caleb's a real one. Absolutely, always. And yes, happy first birthday to Georgie. I wonder if she's gonna come up here. Cricket's also here. They're getting some treats. They don't like me picking them up still. So both Cricket and Georgie. Cricket's birthday is a week away. They're a week apart. So, but yeah. But yes, please do hit the like button, subscribe. I mean, we're going to be talking about all the Batman 2 set photos again, I'm sure, when there's more emerging. It looks like they just did some stuff the other day where they were just testing and doing rehearsals, but they'll be back to actually film all that stuff, and it looked, really curious what they were doing there. So anyway, yeah. But speaking of Mando Grogu's opening weekend as a whole, 12 million isn't a bad start in terms of preview numbers. Now that we're, on Friday, we don't have the Friday numbers per se, but like the finals, the actuals for Friday, but it is looking at 90 million 4-day opening. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Thank you, Monique. It's kind of in the middle of that range, 80 to 100 million, John. Are you thinking that, given that it seems like the predictions have been rising as we get into the weekend, do you feel like it can go over 100? And do you think that's still going to be enough to move the needle? Because like, for example, Solo also had a similar 4-day weekend where it was it was looking at 80 something million for his 3-day. It actually ended up at 84 million, 84.4, and then made 103 over the course of the 4 days. So given that it is Memorial Day weekend in the US, and we are talking about the American box office here, the North American box office, do you feel like Mandalorian and Grogu is on the same path right now, similar to 2018 Memorial Day weekend that Solo did, to maybe, ultimately end up making 100 million when all is said and done? We are talking about it on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think the 4-day weekend is gonna help a little bit. I think, oh God, what was the number for Solo? It was like 82 to 84 million
It
opening
was 84.
weekend, right?
The 4-day weekend number for Solo was 103. 3 days was 84.4.
Okay, 3 days was 84.
So,
So, it's, I mean, the Memorial Day weekend, that could help. I mean, I've been going back and forth with this. I think, oh, this is gonna make $1 billion because it's Star Wars, and then I'm like, oh wait, maybe not, and then I'm like, oh, it is. No, no. It's just like, we obviously won't know until it comes out, but I've been reading a lot of middling reviews of this, like pretty much even from like diehard Star Wars fans. They're like, this is not really all that great. So, and
I mean, come on, John, look at that. Look at
I want to
Grogu
punch
right
it.
there.
I want to kick it across a fucking football field.
Hold on, I got something better for you, actually. Hold
on. But yeah, it's just, I think it'll do well. I think it'll do decently well, like 400 to 500 million. But I don't think it's gonna be breaking any records or doing anything of the sort in regards to, or anything of that.
Look at this guy, right here. Look at this.
I wanna grab it and punt it.
Look at him. This guy at the box office. You don't think he can do good?
No, I want to take it and throw it across the room.
Hey, there's Grogu. Sorry, I just want to, bring in Grogu.
Boo this man. Boo. But yeah, again, as I said, Memorial Day will help a little bit having that extra day, but yeah, I don't think it'll do great for the weekend. It'll do okay. It'll do okay, but it's, again, I don't think it's gonna fucking, save Star Wars or whatever the fuck the reasoning is. It'll be a profitable movie, just barely,
I mean, look, okay, now Grogu's in my face. This is usually what my cats do. We're gonna put Grogu down there so the kitties can explore. Oh, they're scared of Grogu. Okay. The kitties are scared of Grogu. Well, they'll have to get used to him. Right? See, he's harmless. Now they're coming back to check him out. But anyway, I was just gonna say, the reviews tend, the theme I'm seeing is they're playing it safe with this one, which I feel like some people said that about The Force Awakens, and that movie made $1 billion. I'm not saying this is going to make $1 billion. Maybe that is the way to go, though, you know, considering where we are at right now with the franchise. Maybe this needs to kind of rebuild a foundation theatrically for then Starfighter to come in and do something different. But then again, Sean Levy's directing that one, so Sean Levy isn't known for directing brave pieces of art movies. He's usually known for directing, you know, relatively safe, you know, for all audiences, kind of like, you know, 4-quadrant films, but you never know. So but yeah, I mean, the question on the Hollywood Reporter was like, or not the question, the statement, like, Mando and Grogu won't lose money, it may not rescue Star Wars either. Well, to that I say, I don't think, like, does Star Wars need rescuing? Like, is it? Because here's the thing, like, for all the, you know, the internet conversation, which again, usually, like, I fully admit that we are part of a loud minority. Like, the vast majority of people don't have the, you know, the same level of interest, or, you know, they don't pay as much attention, they're not following this stuff as close as we are. And ultimately, when you market a movie for the masses, us, like, we could, like, you know, people like us, whether we are on the show or watching the show, in the comments, all of us, we tend to either amplify that messaging from the studio or we work against it, but we are not like the target demographic. Like, we are part of it, but we're like a small part of it. So having said that, I think this article specifically, what they're talking about is this movie, Mando and Grogu, is going to appeal to the Star Wars fandom. It's playing it safe. It does it actually has a bunch of cameos that kind of, you know, brings back some fan favorites and stuff, which we won't get into to not spoil things. And, you know, you introduce a few new characters along the way, and obviously you know, the 2 core characters that, quite frankly, I mean, I remember when Mandalorian came out, season 1, and it united the Star Wars fandom after, like, the sequel trilogy had completely frayed everybody. So that being said, I mean, can they do it again? Can they kind of bring that, bring the Force back, you know, and in favor of the franchise? I'm sure they can, but the bigger question would be, can this movie expand the Star Wars fandom beyond its core? You know, like, can we get new fans for Star Wars based on this? And that's kind of hard. If you had to, like, you know, ask me yes or no, I would say no. And that's where they kind of lean on with this article, because this isn't a movie that's going to necessarily, you know, bring in more of an adult audience like the way Andor did. It's not going to, I don't know, like, it's not as massive of a movie as the sequel trilogy was, where even, because they were cultural zeitgeist events, you couldn't miss them, because then everybody you knew would be talking about them the few days later after the movie came out. So you needed to go see it as soon as possible so you could, you know, be part of the conversations and not get spoiled on the internet. This isn't that kind of a movie, and I feel like this is the first time. I mean, I guess Solo was another example, Rogue One maybe as well, but, like, it just seems to be that outside of the episodic movies, they just haven't quite figured out how to make something feel as big as those, like, even the sequel trilogy episodic movies were. So yeah, but I mean, that is a pretty high bar to measure a movie by. So I will again go on to say this, like I've said before many a times in the past couple of weeks, this movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, is akin to Star Wars as Superman was to the DCU last year. It needs to kind of reset the bar and expectation at theatrically for this franchise. And I mean, the Rotten Tomato score is kind of on the edge, so that's not been the best, you know, thing, because critics haven't embraced it completely. But yeah, I mean, Justin Geeky Guy, we've been talking about it. It's not blowing the doors off anything. It's certainly doing really well by most movie standards, but not by Star Wars standards. But as long as it does well by the fans, because I feel like a lot of the reviews do say there's a lot of fan-pleasing, crowd-pleasing moments in this movie, so hopefully that hits. And, you know, if that does, then I feel like Starfighter will be the movie to then kind of, like, move, you know, move this franchise forward, literally and figuratively. And then we'll see if they decide to do a sequel, because with a $165 million budget, I feel like it doesn't need to make a ton of money to break even. Like, it can make 400 million maybe, even with marketing, to potentially break even, and then it's going to make plenty more money with merchandising and you know the post theatrical windows. So they may want to do sequels. Like they've said that's been sort of the plan, or at least that's been the rumored idea, you know, plan, that maybe they'll want to do more of these. But yeah, I have to see the movie to kind of speak to it more for the movie itself, which I will try to do this weekend. So hopefully we'll be talking about it on Monday. You know, the review itself. But yeah, there you go. That's the box office report. 12 million previews. Is currently looking at a 90 million opening weekend. Could potentially go over, you know, 100 million depending on, you know, how well things go for it, especially on Saturday and Sunday. Usually the Sundays are the lowest, you know, grossing day of the weekend. And any movie that, you know, holds pretty strong from Saturday into Sunday tends to do really well and ultimately overperform its projections. That's what happened with The Devil Wears Prada 2. That's also what happened with Michael. They did really well on Friday and Saturday, which is when most people go to see movies, but they also did really well on Sunday. And because it's a Memorial Day weekend, you know, they will also have a Monday, another holiday, you know, for it to make money. So we'll talk about it next week and see how it does, and hopefully review it as well. But yeah, there's your box office report.
But you know what else is exciting, Dan? What else is really exciting? MCU. MCU stuff. Mainly Spider-Man. I do love talking about Spider-Man. I am excited. I'm actually excited for Marvel projects, ladies and gents. I know it's crazy, but it just goes to show I have been a fan of both for a very long time. It's just that it seems like the tide is turning with Marvel. Maybe. They've gotten, you know, 3 hits so far this year with Wonder Man, Daredevil, and Punisher. Various degrees, but, you know, now we might have the next hit with Brand New Day. But apparently this merch may reveal how Spidey will take down Savage Hulk. Probably not, considering that, you know, it's a fucking toy. And it's probably has no connection to the actual film, guys. Are we really... Okay, how fucking stupid do you think Marvel really is? Like, well, yeah, we're gonna have our toy spoil our fucking movie. The people that literally take the script, give it to a fucking underpaid intern, lock it into a briefcase, ship it across the country, then hand it to the actor so they can sign every page to make sure they have it in their possession. Yeah, same company throws a spoiler on a fucking toy. Okay, sure.
No way.
What fucking world are you living in? This is cool. I would have definitely bought this as... Honestly, I might buy it as an adult. I'm just saying, it's a cool toy, but like, come on. Even for
that's actually
the
really
MCU,
good theory,
even for Spider-Man, that sounds really...
theory.
Come on, anti-gamma webs? Come on now. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a little bit too ridiculous. And even that, it's a fucking toy. It's a toy. Just like, come on, like the fucking toys for Spider-Man 2002 didn't spoil the movie. Like, come on now. I would know. I have them somewhere. There they are. See? I got my Spider-Man, my Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and then I lost the mask a long time ago, but yeah, Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe. I don't know why he's a redhead, but like, yeah, there he is.
I am a bit of a scientist myself. What's the line? I'm a scientist myself.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
I'm something of a scientist myself, yeah.
Anyway, yes, I do still have these.
That's good. Nice. Yeah, no, I mean, it seems... I mean, look, it's possible. Again, these concepts don't always match up with the movie because this stuff is all put into motion sometimes a year in advance of the movie coming out. So things could change. Or like you said, you know, this may not... I mean, even if it is like that he uses some kind of gamma, you know, laced webs, I don't know how that would work. You need to have some kind of material that emits gamma rays. But then the thing about that is, like, the physics of that kind of is destructive, because I'm like, if it's emitting gamma, because like gamma isn't like gamma rays are like, it's like it's in the electromagnetic spectrum. I'm like, I don't know how that makes sense, that because if it is something that's that radioactive that you have in your web shooters, especially if by that time in the movie the thing is shit is coming out of Spider-Man. I'm like, isn't he dying from the radiation himself? I don't care about his healing factor. Gamma radiation is gonna fucking kill you. Like, you know, like it's you humans are not built to survive that. And I mean, I get it. It's like the Hulk and this is Marvel and this is a movie, but like anyway, it's kind of it's fun as a toy. It's even in the MCU standards, it's gonna be hard to kind of justify that.
Yeah.
But I do like the theory that Justin Geeky Guy has, because it's very possible that if Jean Grey,
Yeah.
or, I mean Sadie
I mean,
Sink
that's a good theory.
character, you know, could possess him,
However,
you know,
that wouldn't that be kind of a little bit too similar to what Wanda did in Age of Ultron? A little bit. Random woman possessing Hulk to make him go savage.
well,
I
no,
don't
but
know.
she didn't. No, she didn't make him. No, it was she infected all of them with these visions, and then like that made him
Yeah.
Hulk out. But the Hulk was because the thing is, like, if he hulks out, he's not in the Bruce is not in control anymore, right? Because and that was the thing that they tried to like he was trying to control, and eventually had it figured out, and I guess somehow he has it unfigured out in this movie. So it may because the thing is,
probably has something to do with the device
Yeah.
on his hand, like that weird watch thing.
but like, because the idea would be that he's got it completely stabilized, right? Like he coexisted with him for a while, and now he's got him under control somehow, so he can be in his human form
Yep.
and have like a human job and blah blah blah. As a professor, but maybe Sadie Sink kind of goes in and kind of like, yeah, her character, that is Jean Grey or whoever she's playing, kind of unleashes the hulking, because again, once the Hulk is out, the Hulk's out, and that's what happened in Civil War, and that's how we ended up with like the Hulkbuster suit and all that. So yeah, hey Ron, how you doing? It would make sense. I just think, like, you know, gamma webs as a toy, it's fine. It just doesn't, even by Marvel Cinematic Universe standards, which, to be fair, MCU has always tried to ground itself in some level of technological reality, even though things have gotten pretty ridiculous at this point. So it would be hard to kind of explain that away.
Right.
You know, so yeah. But anyway, it's good to see the toys are out. It doesn't tell you everything about the movie, though, I don't think.
But apparently we have the Chinese release, guys, with the new international poster. An exact date has not been announced. It will likely be around July 31st, but it's essentially the same kind of poster.
I really like the pose. It's kind of the closest thing to like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, how that movie starts, and you kind of see Spider-Man flying down.
I mean, it's kind of the same poster of what we got, except
Yeah.
that we have that additional
There's-
shot of like
yeah.
the city and him flying and falling and whatever. So yeah, looks good though.
Yeah. Better than any of the Spider-Man flying action in the Tobey Maguire movie. Okay, we get it, Toby. But anyway, I like the poster. I like the shot. If that shot is in the movie, that would be fantastic. I just want more epic Spider-Man flying
Say
shots.
that again.
You know, fantastic. Yeah. I do hope they cross paths. You know, that's one of the things people are gonna look forward to is Spider-Man and the Human Torch having some kind of like moment in Secret Wars.
That will be fun.
That will be fun, and I bet you Marvel will make that happen for us. So, yeah, but it's great. I mean, it's got a Chinese release. That's not easy to do. It's not easy to make that happen, and it's gonna have an impact on the box office. Like, Marvel movies still do really well in China, and yeah, there you go. You got a new poster as part of it. Again, not anything revolutionary, but like, I feel like less is more
You and me
in
both.
this case. So less is more. But yeah,
But-
that sounds great. Yeah.
Now we're going to
Spider-Man
get
stuff,
into
so-
even more Kino Spider-Man related things with Spider-Noir. Ah, yes, perfection.
Yes,
Apparently the
let's talk about it.
Rotten Tomatoes score has been revealed, and it's apparently at 82. It's positive, guys. It's fresh.
82%. Not bad.
I don't know if that's changed since then.
Let's see if you can find it.
But now it's at 90. There's
Okay.
35 fresh scores and 4 rotten scores. So that's pretty good.
Wait,
Fuck
can
the
you-
people who ever said it was
where
called
is-
The
wait,
Beautiful
can you-
Four. You can frankly
can
go
you-
fuck
can-
yourselves.
But can you pop that on screen? Like, where is that? Where's the Rotten Tomato score?
Hang on.
We gotta figure that. We gotta show off the, because in light of Mando's lower than expected score, this is kind of exciting that it's doing really well.
There you go. There you go. Dutton Ranch is apparently doing really well too.
Mm.
Because everyone cares so much about
I just love that image. Like with them in color, it just makes him look goofy. It just has a different effect. Well, or I guess he's not wearing the mask under the thing. Yeah, 90% is really good. I saw that initially there was one that called the show kind of boring or like some kind of bore, and then the reviews have just gone better from there. I mean, sure, if it's slow, that's fine. I mean, like, it's a TV show, right? And it's like meant to be this noir thriller kind of thing. If you know a thing or two about watching anything noir, whether it's a movie or a TV show, mostly movies, they're not meant to whiz by. They're meant to kind of like be a slow burn. So I'm not surprised on that level that it is being called a bit slow. As long as it doesn't bore you, which is what I saw in one of the reviews. But then again, it's from my taste, it was from one of those reviewers that I don't usually pay too much attention to. But like 90 reviews is a good amount to be able to
I mean, Variety said it was a beautiful bore, though the series has a solid cast and some sparkling depictions of a bygone era. Spider-Noir is all style and very little substance. The Wrap says whether your thing is old existential crime movies, four-color fantasy magazines, or TV that aspires to artistry as well as entertainment, Spider-Noir has all the goods. Periodically, Spider-Noir is indeed a hoot. It's too bad you have to wade through so much nondescript storytelling to get there, as the Hollywood Reporter says. Slash Film loved it. Spider-Noir is one of the most exciting and creatively fertile superhero works to be released in the last couple of years. And while it may be a bit batty, wrong hero, but sure, I think it's the bee's knees. AV Club wasn't a fan of Cage's performance. Get the fuck out of here. Writing that in the long run is the real harm inflicted on Spider-Noir by Cage's performance by imitation approach. It robs the series of the chance to ever be anything more than a simple pastiche with some clumsy comic book theming stapled onto it. Empire says he is, however, absurdly brilliantly absurd concoction. Radio Times says, in fact, Spider-Noir is far better than such a frivolous spinoff has any right to be, with Cage deserving of high praise as the linchpin that holds it all together. Delightfully camp, low stakes romp through 1930s New York City that proves Nick Cage is still cooler than all of the us. While IGN explains Nicolas Cage's Bogey meets Bugs Bunny pulp hero invigorates the highly entertaining, genre-bending Spider-Noir. So now they're at fresh as of right now, 90%. Not like that matters. Go check it out for yourself. If you think it's boring or not, then you actually go watch it. It's going to be on MGM Plus on the 25th. And then on the 27th.
That's a Monday.
We are getting it on the rest of the world, aka everyone who actually has Amazon Prime. We will be getting it. Not
I also have that.
The two people that have MGM.
Oh, nice. Enterprising's been watching the Burrows. The bee's knees. Yeah. But okay, I'll be watching it on Monday then. I guess I'll get. So wait, is it? Did they say they'll be dropping all the episodes at once?
I don't know. I've seen conflicting reports that it's gonna be episodic or it's gonna have all the episodes. So I'm not sure. But because I saw on MGM, MGM is gonna have episodic,
no.
And then
okay.
Prime is gonna have all the episodes. So I don't know.
So they're gonna drop all 8 episodes at once on Monday.
Okay.
The 25th.
Don't fucking spoil it for me just because you have the fucking streaming service nobody else has.
I'll give you the login so you can watch it early too, because I know you're that excited.
No, it's fine. I can wait 2 more days. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I got Lego Batman early. I think this balances itself out.
Well, because I feel like if I can get through it all on Monday, which is a big if, because currently I'm trying to finish For All Mankind. But if I do, then we should talk about it on the show, because it would be nice to kind of review it. It's 8 episodes is going to take a bit to get through. That's going to be a full day's worth, because they're not like 20-minute episodes. But yeah, no, we'll review it. So, but I'm excited. 90% is a good score. I was just kind of worried. I saw that Variety review and I was like, it's in some kind of bore. And I was like, But then it seems like
That's what I
pretty much
saw. That was the first
most-
review I saw. I'm like, come on, really?
Yeah,
It's
beautiful
got, it's
boar.
got,
Come on,
guys, it's got Nick fucking
freaking Cage. Like where we have that? It's right here.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
I feel the need for speed. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
I'm Nick Friggin! Okay! Really? Really? Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the
IMDb.
context of that's supposed to be, but
It's meant to be its own segment. We used to do that. Like it was kind of like a quick hits alternative where we just do ridiculous stories from Hollywood, which kind of
Alright.
just all fall under quick hits now. So it's all good.
speaking of ridiculous, hey, remember Charlize Theron was in a Marvel movie? Good times.
I remember that Doctor Strange got a third eye, which looked ridiculous.
Which looked absolutely, bruh,
God.
like, guys, come on. Like, this is the best you could fucking do. Like,
to give her a prosthetic eye, like it just looks so badly
Yeah,
CGI
fucking-
composited.
Total
Like,
Recall, fucking Quado, like, you fucking built that in a
yeah.
cave with a pile of scraps, and then you fucking give us
He
this
built that
garbage?
in a cave with a pile of. I need to go bald for that to really hit because that's how Jeff Bridges was, and have like a suit on and just be like
It
towering.
looks like a
over you. It's
fucking
this.
fake tattoo you get at like a carnival or whatever, and you slap it on your skin and you fucking use water or whatever.
Because like you need ridges and you need like folding skin and stuff. Like you need to give it a proper eyebrow. I don't know. It's like it doesn't look real. Yeah.
Anyway, so
To look deeper. Well, we will look deeper into Charlize Theron later. Don't you worry, we got that coming up.
with the interview for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, where she's playing Cersei. See, I'm telling you guys, if we didn't already have a
Cersei.
Cersei in the DCU, I'm saying Charlize Theron would have been perfect. Even
It's
Christopher
not too
Nolan
late.
does
Oh, is it too late? Because like the Anya Chalotra is gonna do the
Yeah,
one. No,
Anya
she's playing-
Chalotra is Cersei,
Yeah, yeah.
so which is a
Okay.
good choice. It's a good choice.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice. I'm sure we can find another role for Charlize Theron. if she wanted
But
to.
despite her previous cameo as Clea Strange in the Marvel Universe, Theron says she's not the person to ask about speculation she'll appear in Avengers Doomsday, nor does it seem Atomic 2 Blonde 2 is moving forward. Didn't think it ever was. I think we might have passed the moment, but she is booked and busy with other projects in development, including Alfonso Cuarón's fantasy drama Jane and Two for the Money, a heist movie that teams Theron with director Justin Lin, a fellow alum of the
that.
Fast and Furious franchise. So,
Nice.
yeah, Clea's probably not going to show up, but like I could have
Busy.
fucking told you that.
Wait, so what did she say? Because this is all like third. Like, what was there a quote from her in there? Did I miss
No,
that?
it's just I think it was just through like
Like third party like conversations and she
Yeah.
did an interview for the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is just it's not an actual quote from her. It's just from the article that they published in Elle Magazine, I think it was. Yeah. Yep, that's what it is. So it's basically this isn't coming because this is kind of a misdirection, and the headline is kind of a misdirect because she did an interview as part of like a big The Woman of the Odyssey, which we'll talk about later, cover shoot, which involved among the other women of the Odyssey, Charlize Theron, who plays Cersei in there. And it looks like as part of that, they wrote that she's got so many other things coming up that they're speculating at Elle that she's likely not going to show up in Marvel anytime soon. So in light of that context, I would say it's still possible, because all Marvel needs for her to do is maybe show up on set and like film for 3 days. Like she's probably not going to have a big role, even if she does. So I wouldn't rule it out completely that she might still be in the movie. It's just that she's likely, not going to be there for very much. And if she isn't, then I'm sure, like Ron is saying, most people will not miss her, because I don't even think most people remember her, because she was in just the post-credit scene, and it wouldn't be the first or the last post-credit scene Marvel chooses not to pay off that took place during the the multiverse saga. So anyway, but yeah, let's move on. We got to talk about the Fantastic Four, or I could have done that better, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But apparently Paul Walter Hauser has revealed how much money he made
Ooh.
for Mole Man.
Moolah.
So, He just fucking went into it. He's like, if I'm starring in a movie into your studio, I demand a certain salary, and when I'm doing a supporting role, I know that I can back down and know that they only have so much money to play with. For something like Fantastic Four, you make $200,000 or $300,000 to play Mole Man. Jesus fucking Christ! That should not be a sentence ever said. Fucking Marvel, I'm a mole man in real life. Why don't you give me some fucking $203,000? Fucking.
But wait, John, there's more because he doesn't get to keep all the
poor
money.
baby's only making $136,000. Eat a fucking dick, Paul Walter. Oh no! Oh, my lobster's too buttery and my steak is too juicy. Oh no! Fucking get the fuck out of here.
But wait, there's
goes
more.
To the agent, goes to the lawyer, blah blah blah. But he's still fucking making $130,000 a year. Well, half the world is fucking starving or in poverty. Get the fuck out of here, douchebag.
I'm looking see like I know his role got cut a lot, so there was a lot that they did not include in the movie. So maybe he got more because he was gonna be a bigger part of the film.
You know what, Caleb? I'm telling you, I'm fucking telling you. All of this shit, it's fucking embezzlement at this point. It's like a laundering scheme. I don't believe any of these fucking movies. Like, come on, you're telling me Thor: Love and Thunder costs $450 million fucking dollars, and it looks like that? Get the fuck out of here. This whole thing's a fucking laundering scheme. It's all bullshit. That's what it is at this point.
But John, wait, he explains how he doesn't get to keep all that money, so. Like he walks us through it. He's like, and then taxes. Agent 10%, manager a percentage, lawyer 5%. I bet you the manager gets a bigger percentage than agent or lawyer. Then lawyer gets a 5%. I give 5% to a business manager. I grew up in the church, so I'm always teething something, whether it's 5% on my net gross or 12%. I'll give away something to someone who needs it. There you go. But at the end of the day, wait, hold on. Like, I gotta keep reading that. But at the end of the day. Well, looked like $250,000 is a lot closer to $136,000. And that's still a lot of money by anyone's metric. Okay, so Paul is aware, but he continues to say, but it's not going to set you up for life. There's a reason I do a shit ton of movies, and it's because I have to keep doing them because I'm not getting paid on a Springsteen or a Fantastic Four when I'm getting paid on The Luckiest Man in America or Balls Up. So I guess he's got a point, like it's a lot. It's kind of like when you're in music, right? If you're an artist, I mean, unless you get to the Taylor Swift level, which is there's a very small percentage of the actual total number of working artists in the business, and for actors.
I mean, I still like the guy, but just sometimes don't show us how the sausage is made. Like literally, like Brady Corbett is like, I'm living in like a studio and I could barely make rent, and that dude just made it a fucking Academy Award winning movie a couple of years ago. So I don't know, it just feels weird. Here's the because I've said this before to other people. I don't know if I've ever said it on the show, but like talking about your salary with your coworkers is very important, and I mean that on like normal people level, not like this level, because then you're going to be seen as a dickhead. But on a like level, like talk about your salary with your coworkers, because then you can figure out if somebody's getting gypped, if they're getting paid a one person salary for doing like 3 different jobs that they kind of got laid onto because of whatever bullshit's happening in the company. Do that, because that is very, very important to share with your coworkers, because everyone's like, oh, you can't do that, it's illegal. It's not illegal. It's very important to talk about that.
It's not illegal at all.
It's not illegal at all. The companies claim it is. They say, oh no, it totally isn't. Talk about your salary with your coworkers, because it's very important to do so. Because it's not you against each other, it's everyone against them. That's the thing. It's all of us against the man.
Kevin Feige? Are you talking about Kevin Feige right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like all this shit going on, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. Yeah. But yeah, it's so yeah, it just.
Well, look,
Paul, shut up.
In Paul Walter Hauser's defense, just for a moment, I'm like,
devil's advocate.
what he's saying is that payday that he got from the Fantastic Four, which by the way, again, he was meant to have a much bigger role in the movie than he ultimately ended up having, because they cut a lot of stuff out, like quite a bit actually, because he was meant to be a much bigger part. He ended up feeling like an extended cameo, whereas he was meant to be a significant supporting character. So having said that, his salary would feel more justified if they had kept a lot of what was meant to be in there. Like they literally cut out John Malkovich in the movie. So like it's, they cut out a lot of stuff. Now that being said, he also mentioned that, he does so many other movies where he's getting a fraction of what he gets from Marvel. And that this Marvel payday is like the exception to the norm for him. So that's why he does so many movies. Because he was saying like that other movie that he did, I already forgot the name of.
Luckiest Man in America.
Yeah, which was about a game show thing from back in
the day. It was a Press Your Luck. It was a guy who courted the system and played it to his advantage.
Yeah, so I bet you he got paid, a lot less for that. And Walter Hauser isn't one of those, like, he's not an A-lister. He doesn't demand the top salary. It does make you wonder how much, like, they're probably making multiple millions for, like, when it comes down to Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby. But again, taxes, manager, business manager, lawyer, like those are like 5 chunks, and by the time so it's half of that goes that way. And then after that, like, here's the thing, one of the things again I'm going to mention here, since this is coming up, for a lot of these, for not for every single one, but for a lot of them, when they're promoting their movies, they're paying for these actors sometimes that they pay for their own travel and stuff. It's not like everything gets invoiced and gets paid back. It's not in every instance that's the case. If they're doing officially, like, like companies or studio sanctioned press tour, then yes, sure, they'll pay for your time and all that. But like, going to the award shows, going to all those dinners and those luncheons and all the galas and after parties and stuff, to like, not everything, that's taken up time that you could have been spending, doing more auditions, callbacks, like taking on more projects, being on set. So, there is, you do pay a price, like, but still, like, he's still very well off, like, compared to the average person. So I'm not, it just, I feel like if he heard him say this, like, in a video, maybe it will come across better than it does
it's
when
like,
it's written
wow,
out,
I sound like an asshole.
Yeah, it like takes, because it just, sometimes you lose the tone and the context. But again, I'm trying to, like, give him the benefit of the doubt here, but it does at first glance come across as a look like, oh my god, like, but he did say it doesn't set you up for life. He does a lot of movies, and even what he does end up with at the end of the day, I bet you, like, he has to pay back a little bit on his tax returns or whatever the case might be. So yeah, he's certainly not like somebody who's getting paid in stocks and stuff, which is unrealized gains, and then you don't get taxed on it, and then you can get loans out, which is like how true billionaires and millionaires really live their life, when they're, that's what David Zaslav and people like that, who get paid very little relative to what they get in company equity, and then that's really where the you can build up wealth, and not even have to spend your own money. You could just borrow against those stocks and equity that you have in companies that you've been a part of or were a part of. But I digress. I feel like this kind of got away from but it started off really funny. But speaking of the Fantastic Four, John, Vanessa Kirby, who probably made a lot more money than Paul Walter Hauser, had something to say recently. She was doing an interview. I think this was from Variety, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what did she have to say?
Essentially, she's dying to do Malice, which I think is like an evil version of Sue Storm. So cool.
I feel like she's talked about it before when she was promoting Fantastic Four. This might be from a different interview, but I don't think this is the first time I've heard of it. I feel like I remember watching an interview where she was sitting next to Pedro Pascal and they were talking about it, and the question came up of like, have you thought about like the future of the character? What would you like to do next, or another character you like to play? And she was like, oh yeah, Malice, like, because so she seems to have read up on the evolution of the Invisible Woman, and in one of the iterations, essentially she is the manifestation of the dark side of Sue Storm that was brought out by a villain. So very cool. I would love to see her as a villain. Cool. She usually does good work as a villain. So she does. Nice. I mean, in the Mission Impossible movies, very good. That's her best work. She was an antagonist, but not really a villain. Yeah. Yeah, she kind of in the gray a little bit. Speaking of and I gotta see that one too in the gray.
You don't have to.
But yeah,
you don't have to.
No, you don't.
Wait
Did
till
you see
streaming.
it?
I did see it.
Oh,
I
it's
gave a
not-
small review,
okay.
and it was mid, very mid.
Well, you know, when you do like 8 movies a year, like you don't hit on every single one. So,
Anyway, let's talk about more important things, like very, very beautiful.
you know what's
women.
not mid? You know what's not mid, John?
Anne Hathaway, definitely not
The-
mid. Holy shit.
Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o. Because, like I said, we started late on this show because I was trying to pick out the perfect image to put on the thumbnail because there's like a whole magazine cover shoot, and you know, there's like 24 photos that came out, and I was just like, I'm just gonna admire these for a moment because, damn, Christopher Nolan, like you got some pull, and yeah, you're tugging on my feelings right now. So let's get into it. We got all these epic issue covers. There's Zendaya to start. Then you got Anne Hathaway. That's the winning image, by the way, if you have seen the thumbnail for the episode. Obviously, there's interviews and stuff talking about, you know, working
Yeah, we don't
on the
give a shit
movie.
about that, no. Like, goddamn.
What? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Cersei. I couldn't remember the character she was playing.
Oh
when I
yeah,
was
but remember,
working
this
on it,
isn't this isn't the woman to launch 1,000 ships.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Ron, you know, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong
okay,
with
you can be racist all you
admiring
want, fine,
beautiful
whatever.
beauty,
But to say that
you know?
Lupita
Come on.
Nyong'o is not
Hey, John.
attractive, you are straight up either you're one of two things: gay, blind, or both. I'm sorry, but even a gay dude would be like, that woman's attractive. So frankly, you're fucking blind, or you're just straight up fucking stupid. So go fuck yourself on that one. Okay, like Jesus. Oh, she's ugly, bro. Just say you don't like black people. Just say it. We know it. Like everyone knows it. Like, goddamn, bruh. Like, come on. Like, really. Play the really clip again. I'm just like, bro. Like, how are you this fucking?
Dude, there's more. We gotta keep going here, John. There's a lot more to get through. Because I'm just.
I know there's
but
more. That's why I'm prepping with my iced tea.
Mhm.
I'm a thirsty bitch right now. So, anyway.
And I'm eating a banana, so like, go figure. So.
Yeah, you're doing the gay shit, man. You're eating a phallic object. I don't know what you're doing. But we have a new picture of Zendaya as
Kind of beat
Tina
the allegations is what I'm doing. These are photos from the movie.
and the way we actually have a first look-see at allegedly Helen of Troy. I'm pretty sure it's all pretty much but confirmed now that she is Helen of Troy. Again, beautiful fucking woman. I mean, her eyes are a little fucked up, but outside of that, beautiful fucking woman right here. And then we have Cersei and Odysseus as part of this as well. But yeah.
Oh, you gotta go to the other one now.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't
there's
worry,
more
we
than
will, you fucking
just
horny
the covers.
bastard. We will. We will.
I'm the one eating a banana. Come on now.
But yeah, so then here are more pictures of, you know, Zendaya and God knows how many other, like, goddamn, bro.
I could tell you have a favorite in this group, so
Here's the thing. I would say, okay, I love Charlize Theron, but I also really love Lupita. I'm not a big Zendaya. Like, I admire her acting. It's just she doesn't do a lot for me. But Lupita, holy fuck. Charlize, holy fuck.
Oh no,
Anne
you gotta
Hathaway.
keep going, John. You haven't even got to the best part yet.
Woo, boy. I'm glad that you can only see like the fucking chest up here. Goddamn. Jesus fucking. This is definitely like DCU Daily After Dark. Holy fucking shit. God.
I might need to buy the physical copy of this edition of Elle.
Yeah, that's the water I need to quench my fucking thirst. Holy shit.
I mean, Anne Hathaway definitely like this one of the.
You're
standouts
looking
for
at
sure.
hot women in pretentious scenarios, but who gives a fuck? They're hot. Okay, that's what you're looking at. Found the gay one. Anyway,
There you go. That's my favorite.
I don't know. This one's pretty good too.
I like it.
Look.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like I got it thrown back to like the stuff she did for Mother Mary for a second. So, yeah, Fantastic. Beautiful, amazing. I don't know. Yeah, I think enough said. The woman of the Odyssey.
Oh yeah, but she's not hot enough to be Helen of Troy.
I don't get it.
Get
It's
the fuck
just
out
this-
of here. Get the
all
fuck out
four
of here.
and
the
more.
only
Can't wait.
fucking shit they had for so long was a photoshopped image from 12 Years a Slave. Oh yeah, she's ugly. She's playing a slave and you photoshop it to try and prove your point, except it made you look more like a dumbass. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, I might have to go get that off the magazine stand. I don't even know where to do that. Like, is that like a grocery store thing? Where do they sell magazines anymore?
They
Elle
got a
is-
Barnes and Noble near you.
Maybe I'll have to look that up. Maybe on the map. I probably do. Calypso, Athena, Helen, and her twin sister. All I need is like, you remember what was
No,
the,
I
what
thought
was
she
the?
was. Is it Calypso? I thought it was Cersei.
Is it?
I thought
think-
Charlize
is
Theron
it-
was playing Cersei.
Let's see. I'm just gonna look again. Ask Google. Odyssey character.
Calypso would make more sense
Calypso.
because she's talking.
No,
about
she's
the
playing.
Saints.
She's playing the sea name Calypso. That makes sense.
Okay, that makes more
You
sense.
know?
But I
Just-
remember reading somewhere that it was
Yeah.
Cersei. Okay, my bad. Somebody gave me a bad source on that one.
I'm sure the Odyssey's got really great writing, too,
Bro,
you know.
this is a photo shoot. What the mean? What good writing are you fucking talking about? It's a photo shoot. It's literally a photo shoot for a fucking magazine. There's no writing involved, you dumb fuck. Goddamn. Just enjoy hot women. Okay, Caleb's gay. All right? Like, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying you're gay. You're fucking gay, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. Okay? All right, gay boy, come on now. Anywho, IMAX. Stock surge. Now we're talking about stonks. Maybe
Sorry,
this
I
will
just
get the
wanted to like
autism
just a
brain
quick
going.
call. She is playing Calypso. I was just like, all I need is Captain Barbosa to like whisper in my ear like he does in the Pirates movie. Anyway, it's just, and then that was actually Naomi Woods. Well, no, it was a different. I forget. She was in the Bond movies.
Anyway.
She played that Calypso for a movie.
But the
Pirates.
stonks, guys, the stonks. IMAX stock surges on Hollywood takeover talk. So I'm just since we talked about Shrek the other day, I'm just gonna paraphrase Shrek. Can we go 5 fucking minutes without more buyouts and mergers? Please. For the love of God, we're dealing with the fucking Versant splitting. We're dealing with
That
like
happened.
CBS. We're dealing with Paramount. We're dealing with just every fucking thing.
Nexstar,
Everybody's
Tegna.
merging. Everybody's taking. There was that music thing we talked about. I don't even fucking remember what it was. But it's just like,
Yeah.
can we go
It's just a
without
love fest.
merger or a buyout for like 2 fucking seconds? Please, for the love of God, I'm so sick of talking about it, of more monopolies happening, and the rich douchebags not doing anything about it because more money lines their pockets. Jesus fucking Christ. God damn. Anyway, rant's
Hello,
over.
I like money. Money, Mr. Krabs.
We've got to
Um,
have money.
So there was a report. This was originally reported in the Wall Street Journal, and they were reporting that IMAX is considering a sale. They're looking at potential buyers. It's hard to tell if this is IMAX kind of initiating this, or it looks like they're exploring a sale. Now the question becomes: now obviously this stock went up at the prospect of this. Now a couple of key things, and if you go to the next Hollywood Reporter article for a second, because you got to wonder like who would want to buy IMAX in the first place, because like the stocks jumped up primarily because if a company is exploring a sale, you want to like hype up the price so you can get paid more, and then we saw that happen with Warner Brothers. We've talked about it before. This tends to happen most of the time. Now, a couple of things. What does IMAX have to offer? Because you guys might wonder, like, don't they own all these theaters and stuff? They don't. All the IMAX theaters you go to are actually like, it's just basically like licensing in essence. IMAX doesn't own them. So like when you go to the IMAX in your AMC, like even if it's the Lincoln Square one in New York, the big 70mm one in LA, a couple of them, or any of the other non 70mm ones, they're all, in partnership with whichever theater chain you are going to see the movie in. So it's not a real estate play. They do install and keep up and own all the equipment, like the projection equipment. They own the lab that prints the film and stuff. Like, so there's a lot of technical know-how, knowledge from physical production for movies like the Odyssey that use IMAX cameras and IMAX film stock, and then helping to run those theaters where they do have IMAX format available. And then you also have the ability to pick out, the biggest thing is you get to pick out which movies get to, not Infinity Vision, which movies get to play in IMAX. So like, as the company IMAX, they get to decide what their screens will be showing. So the Odyssey getting that exclusive window this summer. Then you got, of course, Dune getting that, Dune Part 3 in December. And then, of course, we talked about just yesterday the Cliff Booth movie from Netflix getting that window in Thanksgiving. And then they moved Narnia next year, and they will still give it an exclusive window. So that's really where the power lies. It's like the technical knowledge, the know-how, the equipment, probably President Christopher Nolan's ear, and then the ability to pick out like what movies play in your IMAX screens. And $2 billion market cap is not terribly big. Like Warner Brothers just got purchased by Paramount for $111 billion. Skydance purchased Paramount for I believe it was like 8. No, it wasn't 8. It was it was a fraction of what they just paid for Warner Brothers Paramount. But I do remember like MGM got bought by Amazon for like $8 billion. That was probably the same amount of money that I think, or was it more than what Lucasfilm got sold for years ago. So $2 billion is not that big of a deal in terms of like the pure dollar value. The problem here becomes like pretty much anybody and everybody that would be looking to buy would have a conflict of interest, because if you're a studio, I just mentioned how IMAX gets to pick who gets exclusivity. That's a conflict of interest. Like if Universal buys it and then every Christopher Nolan movie by default gets an exclusive window, or like every Universal you're gonna wonder, like, obviously like this format is now being commandeered by one studio at the behest of everybody else. So that's a problem. Even if it's like an Amazon, like you gotta wonder, like Amazon is now putting out movies in theaters, right? So there's always gonna be like a situation like that. Now the counter to that would be Universal. For the longest time, NBC Universal used to own Rotten Tomatoes and Fandango.com. They spun that out as part of the Versant spinoff. So that's no longer the case, but for the longest time they had that. I mean, it wasn't like they owned all of it, but they owned a controlling interest in it. So, I mean, Google could do it, sure, but like, does Google really need it? Like, I feel like a $2 billion acquisition that's very tangential to what their core businesses right now is, and they're focused on quantum computing, they're focused on of course, AI, and then everything else in terms of what actually makes the money is advertising, and the all of that stuff. So I don't know if Google would want to do it. It's just kind of hard because I don't know, John. Do you feel like there's any company, any studio? Because like I said, there's a conflict of interest in all of these aspects. Apple might feel like the only one, but even then, Apple has done and will probably do more theatrical movies in the future. So it's like they will all have conflicts of interest. So who would even want to do it? Do you think David Ellison comes in, since he's the big tech guy, that he's like, I'm gonna, like, while I'm collecting all of these things,
the only thing David Ellison
well
really fucking
IMAX.
needs is a bullet to the forehead. Like, that's all that fucking douchebag needs. All right, fuck, goddamn.
But I'm like, it kind of makes you wonder, like, which way is it gonna go, and does it even make sense for any like big Hollywood studio thing? Because like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the fact that IMAX is exploring a sale kind of makes me wonder why. Like, they're not like if anything, they're doing as well as they ever have. Maybe they're just doing their due diligence because they're like, we're as hot a commodity right now as we ever have been. Right now would be the time to kind of sell high and walk away from whoever's invested in the company. But I mean, again, the $2 billion market cap is not that high. Like, this will be pennies compared to what the Ellisons just paid for Warner Brothers, for example. Microsoft could do it, but I mean, I don't know like how that ties into everything. But they've got PlayStation Studios and stuff, so they're making movies as well. But yeah, I mean, I personally it's kind of hard for me to nail down right now who would want to do this. I feel like Sony could do it because with Sony has a lot of the movie theaters that don't have IMAX projection, that aren't IMAX screens. A lot of the projection systems are Sony projection systems. Sony's got a very deep, long tradition and history of making, great projection, digital laser projection systems. They make a lot of hardware beyond just that. So for Sony, like as a big conglomerate, they're a tech firm first, and a movie studio is only a part of what they do, and music and everything. So Sony would make sense, but even then, if you have a studio, it does give you a conflict of interest. Sony makes cameras, Sony makes projectors, Sony makes printers, Sony makes drones, and Sony makes everything. Quite frankly, Sony and Samsung are like, catch-all. They'll pretty much make everything. They're huge companies, from Asia that have a market share in a lot of different businesses. Apple could be one, but I don't know if Apple wants to dive into like the analog film thing, but like if they could look at it as like a preservation thing, but it would be a vanity buy for them. I don't know if Apple again wants to add another thing, but they're also in a new hardware led CEO era now with Tim Cook moving on. So maybe this new person who's in charge, I'm forgetting the name of right now, could be looking at it and thinking, yeah, you know what? Maybe Apple should be the shepherd of IMAX potentially. Remember, Apple was, where Pixar was created before Steve Jobs sold it to Disney. So Apple has a long history with movie making, even before Apple started making movies the way they do today. I don't know if Alexa is its own company. You mean Ari? Okay, Ari. Maybe. I mean, Canon, same thing. Fujifilm could be another one. I don't think most of those companies are in a position to make this acquisition though. So yeah, but maybe I feel like Sony Apple would be, now that you guys are talking about it. But we'll see. I mean, John, obviously, you're not happy about more acquisitions and consolidations, but Samsung could, like I said, Samsung could do it too. Panasonic potentially, just more technology companies in that way. But like, there were rumors that IMAX wants to sell to like a Hollywood firm. Those aren't really companies you think of as like a Hollywood. They're not studios. They're not Hollywood like entertainment businesses. So, I mean, Sony and Apple are probably the closest to that. I mean, the rest make, cameras and other equipment. Dolby, yeah, I mean, Dolby could do that too, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure we'll follow the story as it continues, but there's a lot of good options you guys just put on the table that I wasn't initially thinking of, because I was just mostly thinking they're looking at like Hollywood studios primarily. Like, why else do you want to sell? But I suppose those would all be interested parties if that were the case. Like, because again, they're exploring it right now. It's not necessarily the case that it will actually happen. So, but anyway, we move on to TV Talk Terror, John. From the world of IMAX to the world of the small screen. Did you see this kind of story going around today?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, so I was just gonna kind of quickly kind of lay the foundation and then kind of let you get into it, because we have an article from literally 3 different trades to kind of follow along with what's going on. So initially, the Hollywood Reporter put this out today, in early morning, and it was a report saying that Tom Hardy has been clashing with the showrunner. Mobland, I think, just about wrapped up season 2 production. They are hoping for a green light on season 3. So they're already, like we talked about the other day, with Lanterns, they're taking the steps to reassemble a writer's room for season 3, and then making other decisions along the way, like casting and whatnot. Maybe if they need to add new roles, or potentially like, characters that are exiting the show. But the thing that kind of came out today was that Tom Hardy might be, depending on who you ask and what you believe, he either is on the way out or he's already been fired from Mobland, which of course has become very quickly one of the most, I think it was the second most watched show on Paramount Plus. And so it's hugely popular. Season 1, I mean, it features Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, amongst a slew of the other big actors, and of course Tom Hardy himself. He apparently had been showing up late to the set quite a lot. He was refusing to get out of the trailer, and then it was just really difficult to work with. He was rude to other actors, supposedly. Again, this is a lot of hearsay, second, third hand reporting. We don't have any quotes from official people or any statements from Paramount Plus or the production company behind the show or really, you know, anybody involved in all of this. But it apparently got to a point where Tom Hardy and the showrunner of Mobland just couldn't even, I'm forgetting his name, by the way. They just couldn't even work together anymore, which I'm like, you know, it's pretty, you know, like it's pretty essential and foundational that you gotta get along with the showrunner, because the showrunner is the man or the woman in charge, right? They're like the director equivalent in the TV world. They are the ultimate creative lead. And in today's shows, the way they're produced, sometimes the showrunner also directs the majority of the episodes. So for Tom Hardy to not be in a position where, you know, he can't even get, you know, stand, or he or the other, you know, the showrunner Butterworth can't even, you know, stand the sight of each other. Hey Johnny, that's hard. That's I you know, I understand that Tom Hardy's had these problems before, like supposedly on Mad Max Fury Road, he didn't get along with Charlize Theron, and famously, like, you know, had some spats, and like, you know, George Miller had issues with him, and, you know, it was pretty, you know, confrontational at times. So all that being said, the Hollywood Reporter kind of put this out there that it looks like Tom Hardy might be on his way out, citing some of their sources that they had corroborated. Hi Terrence. Yeah, I mean, the show is still on. Season 2 just wrapped production, right? So season 3 potentially could happen pretty quickly, because, you know, and that's why this is coming out now, because it looks like they just are going on a bit of a break from wrapping up season 2. Then later in the day, after the Hollywood Reporter put out their report, Variety reported saying their sources are saying that Tom Hardy is out of Mobland after season 2. As season 3 they start prepping for it, his character, or certainly him, he won't be a part of it. Whether his character continues on or not, there's no details yet. Whether they'll kill off his character will kind of get written off some other way, or maybe they'll recast it. But again, given that this kind of thing has happened before and it has been documented about Tom Hardy, it's kind of like, it's not a good look. But John, then you go on to the Deadline report, which I feel like becomes the nail in the coffin in terms of confirmation, because Deadline talked to their sources, and they said also that Tom Hardy, I mean, they didn't say he got fired or is out at the show. They just said Tom Hardy is leaving Mobland after season 2 as the Paramount Plus drama eyes a season 3. So John, I mean, if you can go to the Deadline article, but then I just want to get your reaction. Having said all of that, from pretty much as the day went along, from like he's on the way out to he's definitely out to yeah, he's leaving, he got fired. Again, no official statements as of right now when we're doing the show, so this might change, and we'll, you know, cover the update on Monday. But your thoughts on this? I mean, this is a show that I don't know if you or anybody you know watches, but I know Fiona and her mom watched it.
I think my parents
I've seen a couple
watch
episodes. It's a pretty good show, and people are excited for the season 2. But when you hear news like this, not only is it disheartening that, you know, one of the focus, like, you know, one of the main characters in the show is no longer going to be around, or maybe be recast. But I mean, Tom Hardy also, for his reputation's sake, he does a lot of other big things too. Like, your reaction, like, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, here's the thing, he could be doing a lot worse. I mean, if it's like, oh, tardiness and like,
Yeah.
it's just a little
I mean, it seems like it's more than that,
hard-headed.
because it's like you can't. He apparently he just was
Well, tardiness,
butting heads with the
hard-headedness, and all
showrunner.
that
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, it could always be worse, but if he isn't, if it's really impeding the production, then I would say get rid of the guy
Yeah.
that's the problem. That's
Right.
essentially what it is.
I mean, shoot days are long, right? Like 10, 12-hour days. And then on top of that, I have to deal with, like, it makes your day go by a lot better if you don't have difficult to work with people on set. And as somebody who has been on set and, you know, has been in leadership positions on set, the last thing you want is somebody who's, you know, slowing down what should otherwise be a well-oiled machine, because it's literally time is money on a movie or TV set. And it doesn't matter whether it's like a PA or if it's somebody like a Tom Hardy, who's like one of the top stars that you've got, and, you know, and over, you know, top of the line talent. You know, it just doesn't help. And it seems like over the course of filming season 2, he just found himself in a position of probably his own making where they just couldn't bear keeping him around. So the question now becomes, will they write, out his character? Does his character story come to an end? Does it get killed off? Or are they going to recast him? I mean, this is reporting throughout the day today, and I'm sure there'll be more updates to this, so we'll cover it and we'll, keep you guys posted. But as of right now, it does look like Tom Hardy is out of Mobland after season 2. They just wrapped production on season 2, and season 3, it looks like they're already looking forward to getting a green light. And if there is going to be a season 3, which it's not confirmed yet, but if there is to be a season 3 of Mobland, then it doesn't look like Tom Hardy will be a part of it. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, John, speaking of Mobland-esque shows, the one that probably started the modern day era of those is Peaky Blinders. Did you get a chance to look at this? There's a sequel to Peaky Blinders.
Wait. Hang on. You're saying Peaky Blinders started it, while Sopranos is just sitting there being
I'm saying the modern as in like the current streaming era. Like Sopranos kind of predates that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Like I'm saying like, what they call like peak TV era, like, like the streaming era of television.
Okay. So apparently Peaky Blinders getting a sequel after the very disappointing film. A lot of fans of the show did not really like the film that came out.
So this is a TV series, like
yes, so now we're getting a sequel series with Charles Shelby as the main character and being played by Charlie Heaton. So
I remember him
that's very, very intriguing. We'll see where it goes, but hopefully it's better than the movie from what the fans have said. So
yeah, I mean, he looks the part. Like if you scroll down a little bit, I mean, it's Charlie Heaton definitely looks the part. It's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. But yeah, he's to me, he's just going to be the guy from Stranger Things until I fully immerse myself in this show. But yeah, it's a 6-episode series. It will focus on the next generation of the Shelbys. So there you go. That will be interesting.
Jamie Bell's also in it, playing his brother.
Nice. Okay.
So very nice to see.
I have seen The Sopranos. I actually haven't finished The Sopranos, but I have seen The Sopranos. Actually, and then there was The Many Saints of Newark. I saw a bit of that as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm aware of like how Sopranos ends. But anyway, let's keep going. So speaking of stuff from New York,
it ends like this.
Yeah, there you go.
And then everybody complained for 20 years.
Well, speaking of shows that are coming to an end, a show came to an end yesterday. That was The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I know you talked about it, John, as it was happening yesterday. Or I mean, it was taped earlier in the day before we went live. But we now know that finale, which I have seen like half of, I haven't finished all of it because it was like an extra long episode. The finale of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert that was running for like that did run for like 11 years, which blew my mind. I didn't think it had been 11 years that he was doing this show for. But the finale attracted 6.74 million viewers, which became its most watched weeknight episode of all time.
Oh, yeah, but please tell me more how you're like getting rid of this because of low viewership.
Yeah. I mean, the caveat here is the weeknight because they occasionally would do like a weekend special, like after the Super Bowl kind of thing. Like, Jimmy Fallon does that whenever NBC has a Super Bowl.
But it's part of the paradox, Stan. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's part of the paradox how, it got canceled for low viewership despite being at number 1. I will say that was funny.
It's kind of doesn't make sense because I'm like, the economics must not work out some other way that you guys are not explaining to us, because you look at their YouTube channel and they get really high views. I mean, most of these late night shows get majority of their audiences finding them on YouTube through the clips of the show and across social media. And yeah, I mean, this was still the highest rated late night show because I'm like, what does it say about the late night shows that are still around? The Daily Show, Last Week Tonight, The Tonight Show, whatever Seth Meyers show is called.
It doesn't say in this one, maybe in another one.
The Ed Sullivan Theater had been home to The Late Show since the 90s when David Letterman was doing it. And so now that's, on Broadway, that's got a significance to it, right? Literally, they ended the show with, Paul McCartney coming into the Ed Sullivan Theater, where once upon a time the Beatles, played a famous
That's where
TV
Beatlemania
appearance.
truly started.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, kind of poetic in that Paul McCartney got to literally turn the lights out on the Ed Sullivan Theater. As I mean, they did a Hello Goodbye performance. There was more celebrity cameos and appearances than I could count. From what I've just seen.
Paul
Seen
Rudd,
the whole
Bryan
thing.
Cranston, Tim Meadows, Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson,
That was
all
funny.
the late night hosts.
All the late night hosts. It feels like they probably they shot some stuff as the week went on because some of those people were on the live show earlier in the week. But like Josh Brolin, for example. Weird Al Yankovic. There's so many more. I'm just like literally, and like I mean, they had Robert De Niro on. They had like Ben Stiller. Like every celebrity that lives in the greater New York City area, like pretty much showed up on the show. If you had me to count, it was crazy and crazy good. But yeah, I mean, what does it say about late night as a whole if the highest rated late night show, just got canceled for low ratings or just economically not making any sense, which makes you wonder. My favorite part of the show was definitely I watched the giant wormhole thing that they shot, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson shows up and the purposefully, bad comedic acting from Stephen Colbert. Like, Stephen Colbert is not the best actor, but like he can play that like comedy role well. Tim Meadows, Bryan Cranston, Tig Notaro, Ryan Reynolds. God, like they had so many. In fact, you know what they did? They had like this like black tunnel outside the Ed Sullivan Theater. So when celebrities would roll up, it was completely covered because like people obviously want to peep and get an idea of who's going to be showing up. So people couldn't get a look into what celebrities were like rolling up in limos and getting walked into the theater on the final day, and especially even throughout the week, because fans were showing up and just like late show memorabilia and shirts and just kind of like watching and just trying to get a chant going for like Steven. So there was a lot of secrecy around what was going on, and it just became this whole huge event. And I'm like, on some level, it's a referendum on, just the character of the man, Stephen Colbert, because he's been doing this, for decades now. I mean, obviously, Jon Stewart was there. Jon Stewart was part of the whole, Neil deGrasse Tyson wormhole segment as well. A lot of spit takes between the two guys. And then, it just, on another level, it's a bit, I mean, you had the former leader, the lead singer of the band, I forget his name. He came back and did a performance. John Batiste. Sorry. And then, it's like, hard for me to believe like they canceled this because the ratings weren't good enough or like the economics of it didn't work. Especially like if that were the case, then why is NBC, and HBO still keeping up with their stuff? But was the Strike Force 5, like the 5 hosts? No, well, I guess now they're the Strike Force 4. But I mean, that's the question that if you go to the next article that was being asked here, that well, actually not this one, the next one. I think this was on YouTube. They did a segment with Stephen Colbert did a segment with like, will the rest of the late night show or late night television be destroyed after the Late Show? Which I know is kind of melancholic in the show itself, but John, I guess to wrap up this segment, I wanted to ask you, like, do you think this is the beginning of the end of late night as we know it? Or do you think the longer this goes on, the more we're going to realize that, yes, this very much was a politically motivated move by CBS to get rid of or end the Late Show with Stephen Colbert?
Yeah, no, it was 100% a political move. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is probably lower viewership than, previous. The idea of late night is kind of dying. I mean, even Conan O'Brien stated this many a times, hence why he essentially left. He was on a nothing network, and which was already getting really low views. Like, who the fuck has TBS anymore?
Wasn't really true broadcast either. Yeah, it was like
cable. But like this was a bigger thing, and like 2 million isn't like anything to sneeze at. Like, it's still a good amount of people, and that was the average.
For
so
today's
you would
standards.
have higher and lower, and
not to mention
all that.
Ratings today are measured not just by what you get as a live audience. It's like the +3, +5.
It's also like the Nielsen ratings and shit like that.
Yeah, Nielsen, and then you have the digital ratings. You look, YouTube tells you like what your views are, like, and most of these shows, like how many. Look, what's the viewership count on that video, John? Just for example, how many people have seen this particular video, which is only like one of many they posted from
It's
the show.
about 1.3 million so far.
1.3 million,
only about
right
a day
there.
old.
1.3 million views on just one segment from like an entire hour and a half long almost show. So that whole wormhole segment was pretty amazing though. Like what, that was great.
So stupid. It's funny though. It's funny.
It's funny. I will say I enjoy the late night format because that variety show feel is something that's missing today. To be honest, the Also Curious show has always been built on that kind of like a foundation, and it used to be even more diversified. And I feel like I want to get it back to that eventually, where we want to give you a little bit of everything. Like there's news, we have fun, we have commentary. We're not a pure podcast per se. It's more than that, and I feel like late night kind of was the last bastion of that kind of television, because they used to be variety shows. They all kind of went away over time, and as interests and taste change. But the Late Show was, as well as many of those others like it, they were kind of and whatever's left of it now, they're kind of like the last bastion of it all. And yeah, for Colbert to no longer be on the air, is it really is is it a referendum on late night, or is it more a referendum on like the decisions that CBS News, CBS Radio being shut down, editorial side of CBS News, and what's going on over at Paramount? Like what does it say about late night television versus Stephen Colbert specifically, and then just how I guess his new employers saw his work. I feel like the latter is definitely true. So yeah, if it were me in charge, I'd be like, keep them around. Like these guys, like they keep you culturally relevant. Like it's providing you. There's very few examples today of shows that air 5 days a week, outside of maybe podcasts like us, which we have audiences, but they're smaller, that capture a broadcast level audience and are able to kind of like provide up to the minute commentary on things that like that Stephen Colbert like was an example of doing, like the Late Show. And you still have the Tonight Show. The Tonight Show is kind of more sketch heavy, comedy based. The Late Show felt more old school in that nature. I mean, Stephen Colbert is not maybe the best, most charismatic late night host of all time, but he certainly did a pretty good job. So I mean, I'll leave it there for now, but you guys let us know in the comments. Do you think the ending of the Late Show is more a referendum on late night television as a whole, or is it more specifically about what's going on at Paramount Skydance right now, and the broader context of that, whether it be political or not? So let us know in the comments. What do you think? And from a little podcast on YouTube, we wish the very best. I'm sure not Spielberg, who was back to, by the way, on the show this week. I'm sure Stephen Colbert will go on to do bigger, better things. He's already working on a Lord of the Rings movie. So yeah. But John, with that, I think we're done with TV Talk Terror. We got to get into the quick hits so that we can get to the DCU Daily part of the show. So let's do that.
Speaking of superheroes, though, apparently Vought Rising trailer has been gotten a first look. A trailer was leaked. We did briefly talk about that yesterday. But we did get a first look about Soldier Boy being a hero. We got a first look at Aya Cash coming back as Stormfront. So
remember, this got leaked and then they took it down. So I'm like, they weren't gonna hold on to it for too much longer at that point. You might as well put it out in the world. It's
One
fine.
nation
It's okay.
under gods.
It's just
it's your first look at Vought Rising in HD instead of someone's camera phone. Coming to Prime next year. So the nightmare still isn't over for the haters of the boys.
It was a bit of a fumble on the part of Amazon Prime to think that wouldn't leak to the world, because they put the thing out theatrically, like the finale. So they should have put this out a couple of days early to get ahead of it, but like it is what it is. It's fine for what, to me, the one thing I walked away from this trailer thinking, this show officially ends any chance that what's this Soldier Boy's name, actor name? Why am I forgetting right
Jensen
now?
Ackles.
I was gonna say Watt Rising. This show ends any chances that Jensen Ackles ever had at playing Batman, because at this point he's just, I mean, he's doing too many other things that will, like, it just takes away. Like, you don't want the guy
just like
who
Gen
plays,
V.
Yeah, the guy who plays.
I hope this gets
Soldier Boy
canceled after
playing
1 or 2
Batman.
seasons. That would be funny. Because it's just like, it just goes to show, like, because from what I've heard of, like, the series finale, rushed, bad, and just half set up for Vought Rising that nobody cares about. And so many people, because they were so disgusted with the finale, were like, I'm not watching this. Fuck this. Like, if this was, if it was just like, if half the season of the show was setting up a prequel, then I frankly don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, they did pay off a few of the big things, but and I feel like I've seen some positive reviews, but I do, it's been a mixed bag. I mean, it definitely was the highest rated, I think, of the season, the episode, but that makes sense because it's the finale, so like a lot of people will tune in for it. Was there meant to be a Boys Mexico spinoff? I don't know if that was a thing ever. I
keep thinking I thought it was a joke, but like, is it real?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if it, I don't think we ever talked about it, so who knows. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would like for this to continue as a franchise at Amazon Prime, but like we talked about the other day, I feel like this kind of commentary on the superhero genre feels dated, at least today. Like, maybe this kind of like not satirization, but also like, how would you say it? Like, it's what did you say? Like, Zach's like deconstructionist way of looking at superheroes. I just think that's maybe not what people want today. It's just the world that we live in. People want a little more escapism. They want to embrace the fantastical because the world is pretty dark as it is. So I just don't see how it just is. This is like a good idea for a show, but at the wrong time. If this was the 2010s, I'm sure a lot of people would still be enjoying it. But it's like The Walking Dead, you know, it had its day. I feel like The Boys have had their day.
Yep.
So Watt Rising feels like a epilogue.
Moving on to another franchise.
Hey, Steven.
And
Happy Friday.
they did the Spider-Man pointing thing. They did it.
He-Man, unite.
Unfortunately, the original voice actor could not join them because he passed away a couple of years ago. But tis a shame. But if all three were there, they could have done it. But unfortunately, they could not. But even then, we have 2 of them. We have both live-action versions. Who did the voice for the original He-Man?
It feels like Nicholas Galtazine already slimmed out from the role. Like, I mean, he probably put on a shit ton of muscle that it's kind of hard.
Yeah, John Irwin was the original voice for He-Man / Prince Adam. He died a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So shame, but you know.
Well, hey, I'm glad that they're keeping the OG Dolph Lundgren involved in the marketing, and he makes a appearance in the movie too, cameo. Not a spoiler, they already put that out in the world, so just letting you guys know.
I think Dolph Lundgren should have played his father. I think that would have been
nice. Nice. Maybe a little on the nose, but nice. We've seen worse before.
Yes. Speaking of seeing worse, Julia Roberts. No, I'm just kidding. Julia Roberts is starring and produced movie version of Katie Hayes' novel Home Economics as 3000 Pictures lands rights. Cool.
Nice. She could have been in the Odyssey. You know, she would have been. I don't know what role she would have played, but.
Kerry Washington stars in What Remains series adaptation and works at Hulu from Chris Lucy, and Mick G.
Big G and Capital. With a K.
And Capital
all kinds
with a
K. Kerry Washington also could have been in the Odyssey. I'm just gonna keep saying it, I guess.
Swap sets viewership record for Netflix animated movie with 38.7 million views, which is cool because I've heard the animated movie is painfully mid. So
yeah, it's like a Netflix quality, like straight to streaming movie.
Well, I mean, it has John Lasseter behind it, so,
Well, I mean, and Michael B. Jordan also involved. He showed up to the premiere and promoted the movie with like his niece and nephew, which was really cute. No, I mean, literally everybody could have, and mostly everyone is in the Odyssey. Caleb, have you seen the cast list? But yeah, I mean, swapped. I mean, look, it fits the mid category that feeds. I mean, obviously 38.7 million people enjoyed it. So, you know, Netflix knows what their fans want or what their subscribers want. And Swap seems to be it.
Yep.
So
Anyway, next up, speaking of Netflix, it has nabbed spec script for nuclear weapons thriller Run the Football from Batman producer Josh and Spencer Marantet, who also have an action feature set up at Amazon, pen the screenplay. So that's pretty cool.
nice.
Right, ladies and gents?
The Batman producer seems like they just wanted to add some SEO into the headline.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Run the
Next
football. I'm sure that'll be fun.
Julianne
I'm sure
Moore to lead mother-daughter comedy film from Netflix. Barack and Michelle Obama's Higher Ground. Moore will executive produce from a script by Loot writer Maggie Sheridan.
Huh. So I know the Higher Ground recently went independent. They used to have a first look. They had an overall deal with Netflix. Now it's a first look deal. So this looks like under that new deal, this is the first thing they picked up. So, you know, the Higher Ground brought it to Netflix, gave them their first look. And, you know, first right of refusal, essentially. And they said yes. And when you can attach a star like Julianne Moore, I'm sure that helps you sell it a lot more easily. We will be getting into Lego Batman soon, Ron. Don't you worry. John has to talk. John's going to give us his latest update on that. But yeah, let's keep going.
Anyway, Jeff Probst accidentally spoils part of Survivor 50 finale due to live production mishap. The last twist of the season. So
apparently,
all
what
5
happened,
people still watching Survivor are gonna have a real twist this season.
Just very quickly, if you guys haven't seen it, which I assume you didn't, they were doing like a live watch along where like they had like a whole live set with all the people from the season there, and obviously Jeff himself was there. So basically, it was like a live watch party, big event thing, and so they would play segments from the show, like the taped finale of the show, and then they would do these live things, which was literally, you know, they were shooting this live in a studio or whatever. And at one point, like in the last 3 people that were left, 2 of them were gonna some like last 4 maybe. 2 of them were gonna do a challenge where one of them who would lose would get last person eliminated, and then you have 3 people in the final, you know, pot of whoever wins. And apparently they came back from commercial break, and then like the 2 guys walk up who are going to be in the challenge. They just watched the clip where they got chosen to do the challenge. They haven't done the challenge yet, and Jeff is like, well, it's too bad you lost the thing, and you just go sit over there. And the guy's like, wait, I don't think that we have played that clip yet, like, so they haven't seen me actually lose yet. And then Jeff is like, let's go to commercial now. So like he kind of messed it up in his mind or whatever. Clearly he's better at doing things taped and not live. But you know what, John? It doesn't matter. I mean, he called it the last twist of the season.
Nobody's watching this garbage anyway. It's fine.
But not only that, because you didn't even need to watch the show to know who won. You could have just gone on Kalshi or Polymarket or any of these like prediction markets, John. Because if you go to the next headline, they had like, you know, wagers and running on the winner of Survivor for weeks and months ahead of time. And apparently the going winner on those markets, you know, was the actual winner who ultimately ended up winning, as we found out a couple of days ago. And if you go to that headline, I mean, yeah, it looks like those not prop bet, whatever you call them, these prediction markets, they had already pretty much spoiled the winner. This winner is the person in the middle in that photo. She won, and it's kind of like hard. I mean, the question this article asked, could studios do anything about it? I feel like the only thing they can really do is literally make everybody sign an NDA, which includes you cannot leak this shit or bet on this stuff on Kalshi or Polymarket, because, you know, like, what's the point of watching this stuff? So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of make the point. Like, it's like, even if you are worried about, you know, Jeff messing things up on live TV, don't you worry. Kalshi and Polymarket already had you covered. So
yep. Anyway, apparently Spartacus House of Ashore,
speaking of the Odyssey,
canceled by Stars after 1 season. Another historical fiction with hot women. Well, this one got canceled, but you know, such a shame. But maybe the show wasn't good. I don't know. But nice to see.
I know this was a big deal. Like, this was a big effort, but I guess it didn't work out for Stars. So
yeah, Stars can frankly go kick rocks because they fucking canceled Ash vs. the Evil Dead after 3 seasons. Fuck them. Anyway, then we have this about who voiced this scene in Two Towers, which is pretty cool.
Like, literally, did you watch this clip? Because, like, what they did is, you know, that speech at the end with the Uruk-hai army, like, all the chanting that happens in Two Towers. Apparently, they were like, we could have just, you know, we could have done this in the studio and just doubled the recording of two guys doing the chant. But you don't get the same sense of feeling. So given that they were doing this in New Zealand, everybody in New Zealand loves cricket, in addition to rugby, of course. So they have pretty big cricket stadiums there. And so the New Zealand national team was playing a cricket match. And they were like, you know what, we're going to go to the cricket stadium. And in between the play, they found a moment where Peter Jackson literally walks out onto the cricket pitch. And then he's like, he's given a mic and he talks to the audience, and then like the digital screens are showing his, you know, the chant that they need to chant. And he's like telling them to do this. And so they literally recorded a cricket stadium's worth of people doing the chant, which then is what you hear in the movie. So it's like they didn't fake it. They literally recorded thousands of people doing it. And
Amazon would just do the two guys over and over and over again to save money. So, you know.
I'm just saying, isn't that impressive? I mean, that's kind of...
Yeah, that's when, like,
cricket,
you know,
I was
people
like,
actually
cool.
tried. Good times. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that, guys? When people actually tried to make movies? Anyway. But, with this, we also have the last motion picture film lab in the world that still produces the 70mm prints. Nolan told Scott Pelley, it's a really marvelous thing to see in this age of digitization, AI, all the rest. This is a human process, an analog process.
This is really just, if you guys haven't seen this 60-minute like episode of just this segment, go on YouTube, look for it. It's amazing to see. You could see, like, again, there's a skill involved with this. There's very few people in the world who still have that skill set, where you're literally splicing film together. For every cut in the movie, they have to splice film together. And then once they've got the master, then you know, these machines, which there's very few of them in the world that still exist, they literally have to then do like duplicate prints, and those prints then get sent out to the movie theaters. And if you watch a 70mm IMAX version of the Odyssey, that, you know, film came from this lab, and, you know, onto the multiple reels. And then they even talk about color timing. Like, dude, there's a difference between color grading and color timing, because color timing, it has to do with like lights that literally flash onto the film as it's getting printed. And that's how you color grade film, because, like, you know, color grading in a computer is very different. So the term color timing is something that, if you have heard before, like old school filmmakers talk about, they explain that process in here, which is just, it just blows your mind, because this whole process, I mean, not only is it very analog, but it's fascinating. Like, that's why I worked once upon a time in IMAX, you know, as a projectionist, and just working with film. It's just like, I wish there was more opportunities for this still, you know? The fact that there's only one of these labs that exists in the world, like that,
yeah.
And that skill set has to get passed on eventually, right? Like, because a lot of the people you see working there have probably been doing this for a long time, and you just, you know, wish that, you know, there were more opportunities like this, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who would want to learn this. It's just the economies of it are not quite what they used to be, because filming and, you know, processing post on digital is so much cheaper. But I'm glad that Christopher Nolan's keeping the lights on for these guys.
Yep.
Not the only one, but certainly probably the biggest client that they have. So,
yeah, it's definitely an amazing process. Kind of a shame, but, you know, it's one is better than none, I guess. One is better than none.
Well, he's not the only one either, but like, he's certainly like their biggest client. Yeah.
And then this 60-minute segment has continued on with Nolan, you know, showing off the Odyssey and kind of explaining all this process. And yeah,
I mean, I think he was just talking about in general, like the idea that he's saying, look, the people talk about the economics of movie theaters, but, you know, how movies are distributed beyond the theatrical experience will always continue to change and evolve. But as far as, hey, come on, here's Georgie. Hi, Georgie. Oh, don't walk into that. And of course you walked into that. Thank you. Sorry. Accident happening in live action. But no, he was just talking about how, like, you know, the collective nature of watching a movie and that collective experience is never going to die. And that is essential to how humans experience entertainment. So that's why movie theaters will always be around. So, And that's that. Sorry, I just had a.
No, you're
cat
good.
run all
You're
over
good.
me. You
But
saw
the
that
last-
happen, right? That wasn't in my head. I'm just okay.
The last bit of quick hit. We have Harrison Ford. A lot of commencement speakers are being, viral right now. Most of them for saying how AI is the future and then getting booed off stage. But Harrison Ford was a little bit more truthful, like he usually is, saying the world my generation left you is a real mess. Build something that didn't exist yesterday.
Hallelujah.
Stand up for someone who can't stand up for themselves. Bring people together that weren't talking before. That's leadership. That's what moves the needle. And talking about all this, by the way, at Arizona State University. So,
Yes,
he had a really great speech. But Harrison Ford is, a lot of people like, oh, he's just grumpy old guy, but he's an intelligent man, and he has
When
a lot to say.
He's like one of those guys. He doesn't say a lot but when Harrison Ford's like talking, you better shut up and listen, because again, like, it's just like what was he doing? He was literally like a set builder or something. He was working in
He was a
construction.
carpenter.
He was a carpenter before he got the job. And he was like in George Lucas that gave him his first gig. I forget who it was, or like it was something, but he comes from very humble beginnings, and he still kind of remembers that, and he's like, look, I was never the most talented actor, and I almost kind of lucked into this career, kind of like almost like Jason Statham, right? I mean, but obviously
Don't you fucking dare!
I'm saying like Harrison Ford has had a much more prolific career.
Get
Hi,
the
Nelson.
fuck out of here!
Hello. No,
How
but I'm
fucking
saying,
dare you? You keep my goat's name out your fucking mouth if you're gonna fucking compare him to that bald-headed slop of a human making garbage-ass action movies that nobody fucking watches.
No,
Get out of here with that shit.
What I mean is, like, in terms of like, they aren't like theatrically trained actors who always wanted to like work in movies. They sort of like not like fall backwards.
Just next time have a better comparison. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Fair. I'm gonna think of a better one, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, I mean, James Cameron is a self-taught filmmaker, so yeah. But like that Harrison Ford speech, I watched a big chunk of it, and it's very inspirational, because again, he is also very relatable the way he talks. He's not like talking
I'm
down
like
to
Harrison
you.
Ford.
So
I'm a beekeeper. I'm dying.
I'm saying one has had a much more
Jason
prolific
Statham.
career.
Jason Statham as the next Indiana Jones. Let's see it, guys.
I'm sure he could pull it off.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be like Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones. Anyway, thanks for
He has a
watching,
history
guys.
of- yeah.
Thanks for fucking watching. We still have DCU Daily to do, so we're gonna do that now. Like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things. So yeah,
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That
okay. We don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily. We got a lot to get into today. Some of Supergirl stuff. We're going to talk about Clayface, absolute Clayface. We're going to talk about Batman Lantern's trailer. We got an update on that. We got a late birthday wish for a DC actor. And then, of course, John's got a ton to say about the Lego Batman stuff. So there's quite a bit to get into. I'm excited. I particularly want to get into some of the Supergirl stuff today. I think the new footage is pretty exciting. John, what are you most excited to talk about today?
I'm excited to talk fucking about Lego Batman. That's what I'm excited to talk about. I'm keeping you guys updated as the game, the standard edition, got released yesterday. So all you not so lucky people that couldn't get the deluxe edition and got the standard edition instead. But even then, I'll keep you guys updated throughout my journey of playing the game. Probably going to play more tonight, hopefully. But yeah, if we don't go too late.
Well, hey, but while you guys are still here, please do hit the like button. We appreciate every single like. It definitely helps us out. It helps get the show out in front of more people, and we do see new names in the chat all the time. So that's always nice to see. But yeah, that new Supergirl TV spot is bad ass. Like it literally is. Yeah, we'll get into that. So let's do the quick hits first, John. Walk us through these real quick.
But happy belated birthday to ya boy
DC.
Michael Kelly, who is in not one but two different DC continuities. He played Steve Lombard in Man of Steel and then never fucking showed up again.
2 tickets to the game tonight?
And then he played a gangster in The Penguin, whose name escapes me. So, yeah, very nice. Michael Kelly, great actor.
My favorite line that he had in the DCEU, 2 tickets to the game tonight. He's like, I think you have a better shot at trolling the intern pool. And that was it, really.
Yep.
He did save that girl, like the intern, from the rubble, though. That was, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jane Olsen. They're like, oh, like it's like Jimmy Olsen, but then it wasn't. Anyway, moving on.
Well,
we got Batman pumping iron. But yeah, this was and looking at the great suit, you have all the costume tests, all that fun stuff.
I mean, they really do talk about this. Is again from Asylum Entertainment, which worked on these movies. They talked about like the whole trinities, including Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, their training regimes. And I mean, Ben Affleck definitely, like, he was going for that bruiser Batman look, and he packed on a shit ton of weight. I remember he couldn't put his arms down. Like, he was walking around literally like this because, like, he had so much muscle. Like, he's going to like a Dunkin' and the guy's like walking like this because he couldn't put his arms down. Right?
I need some dunks, guys.
It was huge. But yeah, I mean, look, the one thing I will always give him credit for, now again, the Henry Cavill talks about, like, he took his regime to a bit of an unhealthy levels in terms of like how, like, his body was like screaming at him, but still, like, all 3 actors were in amazing shape for the roles, and like including Gal Gadot, of course. You see her in this too, and the work that they did. So like the physicality of it, and you know what, the biggest thing that it does to these actors that she talked about a little bit is like, you walk different, you stand different when you have that extra core strength that you did not have months ago because you've been training hours a day all week long for months on end. It helps, like, it's good for you because, like, yeah, all of a sudden you're standing taller, like your posture's better, the way like your standing stance and how, like, and it's just in general, I feel like it's an experience for these actors that, like, most of us don't get a chance to have, and obviously it's not cheap, and like the studio pays for it and all that. But the one thing you can never say Gal Gadot was bad at is like the physicality parts of the role. I think she looked the part. How well she acted was another thing. Ben Affleck's Batman still for a lot of people is their favorite version of live action Batman ever, despite the movies not being so good. And I still love Henry Cavill, but that's my favorite Superman. So anyway, it's been 10 years since Batman v Superman came out, so I think that's why Asylum Entertainment posted this. So
yeah. And now we also have Batman Bad Seeds variant cover for the mainline Batman from Jorge Jimenez. I will say, I like this comment right near, reminds me of the Evil Dead, but we do have this cover of Batman and Poison Ivy, so looking pretty damn good while Dan shovels food into his mouth, so very nice to see. But yeah, cool variant cover. Fucking turned off his camera. Come on, you're not the only ugly eater on the show. Get out of here. Anyway, speaking of, Jack Quaid is apparently one of us. In a recent TV interview with TV Insider, Quaid casually showed off his nerd cred. I love superheroes. I love comic books. Literally, this is on my desk at my hotel. I got the new Absolute Batmans. How do you do, fellow peasants? I am one of you. See, I have the comics. So I don't know. I mean, I hope it's. I hope it's real, but like, it just feels kind of fake a little bit. But but yeah. I mean, I still like Jack Quaid. Yeah, I think this was like from like a fucking like Plastic Man like fan art thing, and then they tried to like hide that or something. I don't know, but bro has a long ass neck. Jesus Christ. But yeah. I could see both. I could see both. But yeah, I mean, he's busy with playing Superman on My Adventures with Superman, so still awesome to see. Next up, speaking of absolute Batman, we have absolute Clayface. This is our first look at the character. You got this poor dog. But yeah, it's definitely it's very gray.
You brought that dog, man.
Very thin, creepier, kind of like a Slender Man vibe. I kind of like it, and it's very gray. It's not. It's more. It's more like earthy clay than like. Than the like mud clay, but. But yeah, awesome, lovely, great, wonderful. But speaking of Clayface, Naomi Ackie has apparently praised Clayface. My love will always be smaller films. I really love genre films, and I love acting in genre films. The fact that it's the DC world with this indie influence and this genre-led influence feels like the world I belong to. This project was so much fun to make, and the community there was incredible. It was the same kind of deal with Rob on Mickey 17, ironically enough. Tom Rhys Davies, who plays Clayface. I gotta move my camera out of the way. Went through a lot more than I did. The thing I love about genre work is that you know what the criteria is, and your job is to push it to its furthest limit. So this mashup between a horror film and a comic book film is interesting. I think it's really smart of DC because it brings in horror lovers, comic book lovers. We'll see what happens. Exactly. I mean, that's what I've been saying for, months, years, talking about this project, how it's like you're bringing in more people by having multiple genres instead of action comedy, which is like literally every MCU Marvel film. So it's just like whatever, okay. Not like it's like a total awful thing, but like that's the thing that kind of feeds into the whole superhero fatigue argument. So yeah, but yeah, and then Lanterns. It's apparently #1 trending on YouTube or whatever, or online or whatever. Anyway. Whatever.
Hey, that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing.
Sure. Anyway, let's move on to some more Supergirl talk, shall we? To something that will hopefully be better than Lanterns. But I'm not going to play it because, demonetization, but we did get some new footage of Supergirl, and looks pretty awesome, looks badass, as the people would say. But yeah, I know. Bring on the Maid of Might. I agree. Again, I'm still very, very skeptical, but I see more stuff and I get a little bit more excited. So yeah, I mean that's very, very exciting. I just hope it's good. I really want it to be good, but I'm still kind of iffy about it. So yep, we know. Superman makes an appearance. We talked about this yesterday, I believe. So, yeah. Awesome. Anyway, apparently a slow news day because Polygon had this exclusive. Why is Supergirl riding a bus? Because she needs to get from one place to another, and it would take longer flying. I mean, that's...
Well, I was just gonna say, John, like that footage that you went over, pretty epic though. Like
it's pretty epic. But the thing is, I can't really like show it because it's gonna, we can't show copyrighted footage. But
like the movie looks more epic and more like the scale of the movie looks a lot bigger than those previous trailers did. Like I'm surprised they saved some of those shots for that ad spot over like an actual trailer. So, but yeah, I mean, this is more like this photo comparison is more for people who are maybe more, I guess you would call them normies, who are not like familiar with the comic book that the movie's based on. But yeah,
but hey, look, guys, color, isn't that nice? I mean, not as much color as the original comic, but
I mean, that's unrealistic. That the original some of that is hard to kind of replicate on the screen. I still
There's
feel like
literally
DC's gonna have a solid 2026. I agree with you, Nelson. I think they're in a good spot. Like, these projects are looking pretty good. Marvel's gonna make more money, but I don't think money is the only indicator of success. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what red and blue superhero is the winner of the summer. It's gonna be Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man. But like, you know,
financially,
I mean, yeah, but it's just like, you know, it's Spider-Man. No offense to Supergirl. No matter how good the movie is, it's gonna lose Spider-Man. But you know, that's okay.
Yeah.
But Millie Alcock was asked on this thing that is specifically an Australian thing. But it's called a shoey, where you essentially drink booze out of a shoe. Pretty easy to come.
Yeah.
I've actually heard of this, not gonna lie. I didn't know it was specifically Australian or if it is like a cultural thing. But you know, I have heard of this. I think it's just like a funny thing of like what drunk people do to get drunker. Oh yeah, bro, give me your shoe. I'm gonna take a shot out of it. Like, you know, it's like, I feel like that's kind of like an everywhere thing. But I guess, you know, the Australians have a specific name for it. A shoey. It's like Bluey, but with shoes. So Quentin Tarantino would approve. He's like, I'll drink a beer out of your fucking heel, Millie Alcock. Don't tell Quentin.
You might not be off the mark, but like, okay, how did we get to Tarantino?
Because it's feet. You know, it's whenever feet stuff is mentioned, always got to bring in Quentin for his disgusting fetish.
He just pokes his head in the window. Yeah, I see.
He's just like, hey, Millie, I'll drink fucking shit out of your heels.
Exactly. Well, enterprising. I agree with your sentiment.
But
cool. All right,
apparently,
John, thanks for letting us know where
we've talked about this a bunch of times, but apparently, Craig Gillespie was saying this, like it's going to be around the 1 hour 50-minute mark, and that's apparently what AMC has put on its placard on its website, whatever the hell it is. So it's pretty much confirming what Craig Gillespie said a couple weeks ago, but this is more official because I remember we were talking. Remember, what movie were we talking about? Was it one of the Mission Impossible movies?
It might have been, because like the default number they put on,
because the default was like 2 hours 20 minutes or something like that.
Is that what it is? Okay,
like something like that. It was like kind of like an average, but it's just like 2:20. So it's like, I don't know, alliterative.
I will say this though, like a runtime on a theater website, it's still like, it's not like quite as bad as an IMDb listing for stuff, but it is also not definitive. Because they can always update that. Now, given how close we are to the movie coming out, like we were like a month away and some change, I would say this is believable because they probably are close to locking that number down if they haven't already. But I wouldn't be surprised if this number gets changed or revised. But an hour 50 is right around the time, an hour and 50 minutes, 110 minutes is right around what Craig Gillespie has been talking about. So I wouldn't be surprised. And then, you know, Peter Safran mentioned as much with what they were doing with test screenings. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is ultimately the runtime, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's slightly different. But it's certainly in the neighborhood. Like, I don't think it's, if you were talking about like ballpark numbers, this is definitely like the ballpark where this movie is going to land. It's not going to be a 2.5 hour long movie. It's likely to be closer to being right under 2 hours, which I think is a good runtime because, you know, like it doesn't feel like there's as much ground to cover that might require 2.5 hours, but you never know. I mean, it might be a really slow 2 hours, or it might not feel like, you know, or it might feel like it just whizzes by, which we'll see. One thing I just want to address, I don't know which streamer is saying that James Gunn has cast Batman. It's not official. It's not even remotely official.
Probably Jeff Snyder saying, "Oh yeah, Brandon Sklinner is Batman."
I haven't heard it recently from anybody, you know, legitimate or even close to even a big scooper. So Nelson, just take that with a big grain of salt. James Gunn has certainly denied it, you know, in recent terms as well. So I don't think that's happened. We don't even have like a finished script for the movie yet. So, and we're specifically talking about the DCU Batman, not like, well, obviously Robert Pattinson's obviously playing the other version. So. But yeah, I mean, yeah, an hour 50 looks like a good runtime for Supergirl. And like I said, it might change or get revised, but it just seems like that's going to be the neighborhood where we're going to ultimately end up landing. So that's good. We kind of know what to expect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now, time to talk about Peak. peak cinema. That isn't even cinema, but it's cinema. So now we're talking about the greatness. Okay, not Nicolas Cage, but like close.
Oh, sorry.
We're
Okay.
just on me. All eyes on me. Anyway, Lego Batman, peak. Okay, not gonna lie, that is peak, but like, you know.
Since you mentioned peak, I just wanted to.
So we're gonna be talking about it, and then I'm gonna be talking about my experiences still playing the game. So first things first that we are going to be talking about is they did a redo of the poster but with the Lego characters. You have a more comic accurate Riddler instead of green Zodiac killer. You have, Top Hat Oswald Cobblepot, Ozzy Cobb, and then you have the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman. But unbrick the truth. So a lot of stuff has been recreated. I believe they also recreated the Batman Forever, Dark Knight Rises, and I think Batman Returns posters as well. So I saw those. They look pretty damn good. This looks great. Peak. It is peak.
I agree with you on that.
Also Nelson Moreno saw Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu 7.5 out of 10. That's nice. Cool. Glad you liked it.
Awesome. Thank you for your review. I mean, let us know more what you thought about it. Like, get in the comments.
And then apparently, your girl, Batgirl, has 14 suits in the new Batman game. I mean, that's not even close. That's not even close to what Batman has. Batman has like 40 something. So, damn. We see all types. We see the Batgirl Rebirth suit. We have the Alicia Silverstone suit. We have the Lego Batman suit. We have the animated series suit over here, and then a couple I don't really know. I also pray for the Cassandra Cain style full mask suit because it's also peak. And then we have a couple other. We have the original animated series one. We have.
I like that.
I think this is the Nightfall suit, if I remember correctly. Not. No, it's. Oh, what is it? I think it's a. Robin and Batgirl 62 or something like that. It was an Elseworld story. I think that's what it is. And then we have the New 52 suit over here. And then we have a couple like older classic suits and sillier suits, but yeah, looking quite good. Babs looking quite good, and that'll lead us into our Fancast Friday because it is
we're doing that.
DCU Batgirl. So.
Nice plug. Yes.
But yeah, now I'm gonna get into further experiences with the Lego Batman game, which isn't gonna be as extensive as yesterday. 1, because it's late. 2, we have more stuff to talk about tonight, so I'm not gonna get as extensive, and mainly because I was exploring the open world stuff in the game. So I did get a little bit further. I did fight the Penguin, which was really funny because there were lots of great references while you're making your way through the thing. There's a reference to the shark repellent, like from the Batman 66 show. Then you have the during the boss fight with Penguin, he starts shooting you from the big giant duck, like in Batman Returns, and then he's like, "So anyway, I started blasting," like very obvious It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference, which Danny DeVito also played. So we have two great Batman 66 and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so that's great. We got Batmite. I don't know if I mentioned him yesterday, but Batmite is also in there. He sells you stuff over the course of the game. But mainly I was exploring the open world. There are Riddler puzzles in the open world. Yes, I know. You can collect trophies. You can collect Wayne chips, which are used for upgrades, kind of like in an Arkham style. You have skill bricks and wing chips. The wing chips upgrade your gadgets. The skill bricks upgrade like moves and stuff like that. So as well as you have red bricks, which can give you like paint style over the course of over like your costumes. So there's that as well. But yeah, there's a lot of I was exploring a lot of open world stuff again because there's just so much to this game. Like I want to do the main story because I'm not really a side quest guy. I love doing the main story. That's the main thing. So I want to try and do that, but I also love the open world. Plus I want to do main story, so I explained it to you guys. So yeah, fucking that was brilliant. We talked about that the other day. That was fucking amazing. But so yeah, it's so chapter 2, from what I'm gathering, it's mainly Batman Returns, Batman 89. Joker hasn't come back yet, but I have defeated the Penguin, and now I'm kind of doing stuff with that, and then I was exploring the open world quite a bit yesterday. So it was still a lot of fun. I'm still enjoying this game. I love the puzzles. Some of the puzzles even get the best of me. I'm a decent puzzle solver. I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst. But it does give you like a couple things to like think about in regards to the puzzles. So it's good that, you know, it's a bit more even. Like, yeah, kids are going to be doing this, but it throws you some things for a loop. So I really like that. The combat could be a little bit better, but as you go on, the skill bricks definitely help. You get some gadgets. The Catwoman gadgets are pretty good. You have the whip, like in the Arkham games. But then here was an interesting thing that I really liked. You can summon cats, and you can go into tight spaces and get certain things that you can, that'll help with the mission or do a side tangent thing, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, I have been enjoying the hell out of the game. I've been buying so many suits because I was raking up a lot of studs. So I'm like, I want to spend some of these. So I bought some Batmobiles. I bought the, 66 Batmobile. I bought the Batman and Robin Batmobile, and then I've been buying a whole bunch of like costumes and skins. I bought the animated series, you know, for Jim Gordon, that version. I bought a bunch of skins for Batman from the Batmite shops. Also, hi Jalen, nice to see you. But yeah, but Lego Batman has just been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it. And it's just been a lot of fun. Like, no matter what you're doing, whether it's exploring the open world, whether it's like kind of having all of these movies on this weird floating timeline that kind of works, but also at the same time, it's doing its own thing. It's not trying to. I actually have played the Batman Returns game, the beat 'em up game on the SNES. I have actually played that, and I do own it. I have a SNES down there, so I have played the Batman Returns game. I have not played the Batman Forever game because that one is quite bad. But yeah, this tons of fun. I don't have a lot to say about it right now, but I'm gonna keep giving you guys updates because I enjoy. I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of updates after this weekend. So that's gonna definitely be insane. So yeah, this is good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. I love this game. Again, it's just driving around, exploring the open world, doing various things. It's just like you feel like a kid again. It's just like this is like the glorious, like true glorious return of like Lego games, because the Skywalker Saga, from what I remember, didn't have a lot of fanfare behind it, but this feels like it fucking, like, everywhere I saw it was just Lego. It was just so much fanfare in regards to this game, but it's like it's doing its own thing. It's doing the movies, but I like how it's not just simply, it's a sequel to the Arkham games, or it's an entirely new game like Lego Batman. Not saying the previous Lego Batman games were bad, but I love how you are actually, it's like they're integrating the movies and its own thing and the comics into one timeline, and I really like that. But yeah, it's just such a fun game. I would say try to like, if you have the money for it, please play it. Not even the deluxe edition, because I love the skins. I love playing with that kind of thing. I love customizing and stuff like that. So if you can get the game, if you have the money, I would say please get the game. It's so fun. And if you love Lego games, you love Batman. Even my friend, he was talking with me about it. He was like, honestly, I just want to get it for the nods and references. And, you know, and honestly, yeah, it definitely, it's perfect. Like, I'm going to keep talking about it because, like, I want to let you guys know where the story is heading and all that stuff. But yeah, this is good. This is great. Anyway, I started blasting. But yeah.
Nice.
So much fun.
No,
Dan, I know you're not really a
lot of
video
fun.
game guy, but like, I would say if you can get this game, go get this game.
I will try. It's just a matter of like how much free time I had to do it. But I mean, I see all the references, and I feel like that's what I would go for primarily, like all the references to all the Batman movies and stuff that I've enjoyed over the years. But yeah, no, this looks more and more fantastic the more I see it. Yeah, wow.
I just bought that suit, actually, the Lego Batman Prime suit. That one I just got, because that's the suit that was in the Lego Batman sets, like when they were released, like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. So yeah, so I just bought that one. That one's pretty awesome. So hell yeah.
Nice. I just wanted to kind of quickly, if you will, I mean, we'll again talk more about the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight as time goes on, so definitely follow along for that. I just wanted to quickly address something that Jalen brought up before we finish up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Supergirl, because Jalen we didn't talk about the Box Office Pro stuff. I don't know if does Box Office Pro have like a long-term, I feel like they might have actually. Box Office Pro, they usually do long-term projections. I found another article, I don't know if that's about the same thing that you're referring to. Their last long-range projections for Box Office Pro came out May 22nd, so I feel like that should include Supergirl, or does it? No, it's all early June. It doesn't really talk about. Okay, so let's talk about well, to what you were saying, 47 to 67 or so million opening, 181 final. I feel like that's a domestic number, by the way. If that is true, I'm trying to source that where you found it. I am on Box Office Pro's website, Jalen. I don't know if you're looking at a specific article or if you found it to a third party, because their long range forecast doesn't really talk about Supergirl. And the last one they did was on May 22nd. It includes Scary Movie 6. It includes Master of the Universe, Backrooms, 43 to 53 million for Scary Movie. I'm gonna see if they're actually talking about Supergirl in this article real quick. There is no mention of Supergirl here. It's funny, I mean, their long range forecasts could do that, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong article. They released one on the 15th as well. And does that include Supergirl? Let's see. Supergirl. No, it actually doesn't. It only goes up till like Master of the Universe. So I don't know where you're getting that number from, Jalen. I mean, do let us know in the chat. But yeah, 181 is definitely feels like that's probably only domestic, if it is that number, if that is a number. We could try to do a video game live stream. I mean, John, I'm sure if you want to do it, maybe one day.
I can try. But
we actually did try. There was a long time ago. We have done this before. It wasn't either of us, but there were folks on the channel who did do like play a game and talk to you guys while you do it, like, talk and play. Twitter, where did you see a Box Office Theory? That's the difference. But there's a difference between Box Office Theory and Box Office Pro, because they're like two different forecasting. So Box Office Theory does have this out, John. I'm gonna send you the link. We could quickly, because I didn't look into this before. Because Sean Robbins is, a good industry, like, like he does good work, but again, like long-term projections always kind of evolve and change. So you take those numbers with a grain of salt, because those numbers will change as you get pre-sales data, and you don't really have that right now because they're working mostly off social media metrics, awareness metrics, trailer metrics. No worries, thank you. Yeah, thank you for clarifying though, because it helps us find the right source. Kayla was busy ranking DC movies on Letterboxd, nice, or superhero movies on Letterboxd. So if you go to that, John, if you go to that article on Box Office Theory, there's a few points here that they share, just kind of providing some, research in essence. They're saying that since Supergirl is like the first big screen adaptation for the character since 1984, Obviously, fans are anticipating the movie. But when it comes to female-led superhero movies, obviously we have mixed history. You had Captain Marvel, which did really well. Black Widow kind of got stymied by the pandemic. Birds of Prey, similarly so. The Marvels was an example of a flop. I mean, certainly by Marvel standards. Madam Web, obviously, we don't have to say anything about that. We know how that turned out. And so you're looking at like, a movie here where Supergirl, it opens 2 weeks after Disclosure Day and 1 week before Toy Story 5. And Toy Story 5 will have legs because it's a family movie. It's going to be for a 4-quadrant audience. And Disclosure Day will probably still be making some amount of money, although it's likely not going to get in the way of Supergirl all that much in week 3. Minions and Monsters comes out only 5 days before Supergirl. So like that's also significant. And then 2 weeks before Moana's live action remake comes out. So it's a very busy part of summer. Now, the whole reason why there's so many of these big movies coming out against or near each other is because a lot of people go to the movies in the summertime. So it's a big, like the box office has enough money to go around. But the thing is, superhero movies aren't really like as dominant. They're not as novel as they used to be. So like, they're not like the special use case where you're like, drop a superhero movie and everybody else will move out of your way anymore. But we've talked about Guardians of the Galaxy visual comparisons and whatnot. So there's a lot of those comparisons that Sean talks about in this article in Box Office Theory. And then if you, John, I don't know if are you able to scroll down into the chart? Because they have Supergirl listed. You have to subscribe for full forecast, but we'll go off of what Johnny was saying because that was listed on Twitter, because I'm sure somebody who subscribed to this went and showed that data online. So 47 to 67 million. So the numbers you're looking at here in this article, which again, they don't have these publicly available for Supergirl. They make you subscribe for it. But that opening weekend is domestic, right? Now you look at the opening weekend, for example, if you're looking at somewhere between 47 and 67 for comparison's sake, the low end for Toy Story, actually for Disclosure Day, let's say, is 45 million. And then the high end is 59. So they're looking at somewhere you split the difference, 54 million is what they're looking at. And then the other number that matters is the domestic total, which you're saying, according to the Twitter reposting, 181 million will be the final for Supergirl. According to these again, these are long range predictions. So long range predictions, take it with a grain of salt because they will evolve. But in terms of giving you an early ballpark, that's not it's not a bad number. So Disclosure Day looking at 170 is their best guess on average right now. So for Supergirl, by comparison, you're looking at 181. That's not too bad because like if you compare that to Master of the Universe, they're thinking that's only going to do 78 million. The Breadwinner even going to do 68 million. Backrooms predicted to do 71 million. The Scary Movie is predicted to do 85. So I'm sure the Toy Story 5 number would be much higher. But again, these are domestic only numbers. And when we talk about box office, we do talk domestic, especially opening weekend. But like overall, I feel like if it makes 180 million domestic, then you add on the international tally, you're looking at somewhere north of 400 million. And there was another report that I sent you, John, if you can go to that article, but this is coming from Puck News. And Scott Mendelson, who works for Puck News, it was on Cosmic Book. It was on Cosmic Book News.
Oh, okay.
They were quoting Puck News. It's not so. In this instance, I'm not saying I trust Cosmic Book News, but they're quoting. They're specifically quoting Puck News, which is reliable. So if you go down there, they're specifically quoting Scott Mendelson. If you scroll up a little bit, I think you just went past it. Scott Mendelson works for Puck News, and Puck News, is a good outlet. They're a relatively new outlet, but they are very much in the know. Matthew Bellany is another one that works for Puck, and he's broken some big, scoops recently. So Scott Mendelson over at Puck News was saying that the DCU movie Supergirl is estimated to need around 425 million worldwide to be viewed by DC as quote unquote good enough at the box office. Does that mean that's the break-even point? Probably not. But the budget for the movie, according to Scott, is 170 million more or less. I'd venture a guess that it's probably a little lower than that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's in that neighborhood. But that being said, I mean, look, 425 million. If you look at that prediction, well, that suggestion by Scott Mendelson from Puck News, and you compare it to what Sean is saying on Box Office Theory, 425 is definitely in the range, and then anything over that would just be a bonus, because I feel like, while you have so many of these other big movies coming out in the summer, given the competition, John, we've talked about many a times before, if Supergirl can eke out a box office that's somewhere between 400 to 500 million dollars, it's not more than Superman, but it's a pretty good number. And given that it's going to be less than 2 hour long movie, we talked about the runtime, hour 50 minutes, you're introducing Lobo. If the movie's, got a great Rotten Tomato score, the critics like it, the audiences love it, that's gonna again continue to build the foundation, because you got to remember, this is only the second theatrically released DCU movie that under DC Studios, so it's not like we have had a spate of hits. You compare that to like the MCU, the first couple of movies didn't make a shit ton of money. It wasn't like until, what was it, Iron Man 2, I think, or maybe the Avengers, that an MCU movie actually made $1 billion. The first few, including the first Thor movie, first Captain America, the first Iron Man, they all kind of scored in that like $300 to $500 million range. And then, the DCEU started at a time when superhero movies were much more popular. So, the first Suicide Squad movie made, 700 some odd million dollars. Wonder Woman made 700 million some odd dollars. Even Batman v Superman, they should have made $1 billion plus, but they still made almost $900 million. But, all that being said, I think Supergirl is in a pretty good spot right now. Like if 400, low 400s is where it's at right now, that's a great starting point. Like that should be, a good starting point to work with for the Warner Brothers marketing team, because then they can kind of push up from here, and really, drive the point home, because they're going to do a press tour. Those social media metrics and awareness numbers will go up. And then, of course, when it comes down to box office predictions, we have seen even just now getting into the weekend, Mandalorian and Grogu's numbers have been going up because they're seeing more foot traffic coming in the door at movie theaters. So you'll get to see more of that, and hopefully with Supergirl, you'll get to see more of that as well. And then I bet you that, like they have in that new ad spot we talked about, the closer we get to release, they'll give out a few more of those nuggets, like, oh, here's another Superman shot. Oh, here's a bit more of Lobo. Oh, maybe here's a bit more of Krypton, whatever other, like, they're not gonna, if they know this movie needs a bit of a boost at the box office, especially opening weekend, because in a busy summer season like this, especially when you have big movies coming out all around it, you need a big opening weekend, because that's where the majority of the money is going to be made. I can tell you that, just from experience, having done this podcast for a few years, they're going to push hard. So the marketing for Supergirl is going to do well. And I bet you Supergirl does better abroad than Superman, because Superman's still very much like looked at this like bastion of American thing, that Supergirl less so, especially considering this movie mostly takes place in outer space and it's been marketed that way. So even though she's got the same logo, it's just not as well known a character, so people don't have that same memory of like, oh, Superman, everything America. Supergirl, like, even though it's feels like a derivative of Superman, is kind of a derivative, not quite the same reputation. So yeah, if 425 is what it needs to essentially be successful, and if the early predictions are saying 181 million ultimately is what it's going to make domestically, then you add on whatever I bet you the international total is probably that, and then add another 50 on top. I think it's going to at least break even. And then again, like Superman, it needs to have a better audience and critics reception than it needs to make money. You're still in that early phase of the DCU. So there you go. That's my best, understanding, estimate, and analysis of that reporting. So thank you, Jalen, for bringing that up. I don't know, John, do you have anything else to add to that?
Thanks for making this fucking broadcast fucking 30 minutes longer. Really appreciate that, asshole.
Do you have anything to say about Supergirl? Or
no, I want to go to Fancast Friday, so I can go to bed on time before 4 a.m, hopefully.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, then that will do it for us on DCU Daily tonight. We'll try to bring back the Q&A session for early next week. I think we had a few lined up, but it's, we kind of run overtime a little bit here. But yeah, we're all excited about Supergirl, so I'm glad we got to talk about it a bit more.
Again, I'm cautiously optimistic, mainly skeptical, but I hope it's a good movie. Yeah. I'm with Enterprising. I hope it's a good movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? On that note, we hope you guys join us for the DCU Batgirl Fancast Friday because you guys voted for it. So there you go. Enterprising, hold off on watching that for a little bit. Join us for Fancast Friday and then go watch The Burrows. But we appreciate you guys joining us. Hit the like button if you haven't already on your way out. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. We need more subscribers. We appreciate more subscribers. We appreciate you subscribing. And of course, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live, like we will again in a few minutes for Fancast Fridays. So until then, if you guys are not going to join us on Fancast Friday, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time on another episode of DCU Daily.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Here we go. Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka!
Anyway, fuck Ellison, King, and Snyder.